part 2. Let's continue this and let's wrap this on up. Okay? Oh yeah, boy. Okay, let's get it back to Mr. President Obama. Okay, there we go. I think we were left off at about... Yeah, I know. If you watched that first episode, or if you probably going through it, or you probably did watch it, I think if you probably should go watch it. Just go watch it. This is a continuation of it. You're going to be totally out of context if you come straight into this one, because I let them have it, so in context, and you'll be out of context if you're watching this episode first. Okay. Let me lower my mic. I'm looking like I'm peeking. A, B, okay. C, A, E, I. Yep, we got. Sorry about that, guys. I'm doing audio checks and everything with you. This is the podcast world, it's audio forum, but at the same time, you're hearing our communication about certain things, but your strict things, well, I say not strict, but your standards of wanting to see people and kind of have people communicate with video has made it where we have to show ourselves and everything, but technically podcast is audio form. But President Obama, he kind of called us out. He baited black men. So these 2 episodes are pretty much to put that into context and set them straight for historical value. I got to work to get people to watch this because I think it's off the hook. I think people should be really hitting my podcast up. They may stay away because it only is a small amount of views on it, but I'm from doing podcasts over in Rumble, and all I did was just came over and start doing something here because I want to kind of get some interaction, valuable interaction over here before we do the 24-hour or 18-hour live stream on the election day, and I just wanted to build an audience. So hit the like, hit the follow button, and we're going right back into it, y'all.
For women, their reproductive freedom, because it won't make a difference in his life. Do not boo. Vote. They can't hear your boos, but they can hear your votes. Most of all, Donald Trump wants us to think that this country is hopelessly divided between us and them, between the quote-unquote real Americans who support him and the outsiders who don't. Because having people divided and angry...
You hear somebody in the audience said, did he say that? No, he ain't say no shit like that. But you can't just say, did he say that? By you even asking that question, did he say that? There's a certain part of you that don't know if this is propaganda or it's not. If he's just saying that he's that evil, if Trump that evil, that lets you know that your gut is telling you you've been manipulated. Boy, whew.
Figures boosts his chances of being elected. And he doesn't care who gets hurt. Think about it. Just the other day, we learned that on January 6th, a couple years ago, Donald Trump was told that Mike Pence was in the Capitol about 40 feet from an angry mob chanting, "Hang Mike Pence." And his response was, quote, "So what?"
Don't say his response was, quote, "So what?" It was a hater against Trump that thought that he was responsible for the riot that made up some propaganda stuff that they said he said. They got no tape on it. They got no responses on it. And it's only this one person that corroborates that. But even if it was multiple people that corroborated it, they all are liars. For the first time, see, this is the hard part of Trump legacy, is everybody hated Trump. Most people that was in the White House, even on his staff, even his family members, they started to take where it's too much risk for them. They start to say, oh my God, man, we're going to be hated by everybody because these are some strong stances that you're taking, Trump. These are some strong positions that you're taking, Trump. And they start like being scared of even being the president because he was taking on the status quo, and they didn't know how much it would be. They're like, man, they about to frame you for a riot and stuff. Like, come on, man, you got to try to find your way to beg them and plead with them to not hate you. Trump said, hey, I can't stop them from hating me. What they asking me to do is fake and lie to the people. And he went full steam ahead. But yeah, everybody was trying to save their ass. They were trying to cover their own ass. His family members and everybody. So, of course, if that's happening, these people that turn against him, they're going to make up all kind of stuff. They ain't got no factual evidence to. They ain't got no recordings. They got nothing. Nothing. He says, so. Like, dude, you can't just say Donald Trump said, they said, hey, Trump has been ahead by 40 people, he's 4 feet away from people saying, hang Pence. And he said, so? What's the proof of that? Nobody, and none of those people, you guys are so dumb. The American people, even the people that watch this podcast and think that there's some legitimacy to this idiot saying that kind of stuff. And President Obama is not an idiot. He's a highly, highly capable man, an intelligent man. So if he's saying stupid shit to you, then you're so bottom of the dumpster, nincompoop, irrelevant, an insignificant piece of crap that's in front of him that he's talking to, that he knows what triggers you. And he's playing to your ignorance. Because he ain't ignorant like that. He ain't dumb like that. He was a president. And these people around him coming out to say this crazy stuff about him. It's like I don't even know if Trump learned his lesson by making sure that whoever's around him, you gotta vet these people and vet who they are, and you gotta make the decision: are they a real one or they not? You can't hope they're a real one. You got, are they a real one or they not? Otherwise, I'll interview the whole American public to find right people to be around me. I cannot have people with their own agenda, their own philosophical ideology, and their own premise of how life is and how people should conduct themselves and how people should talk and communicate their freedom of speech. I can have people around me that have their own perception of this, and if somehow they feel I go against that perception, they doing all this propaganda stuff, saying lies and putting crazy narratives that a former president that's highly respected by most American people come out and just say something that I said, so? Like, dude, how can I fight that? How can I fight that narrative? It's ridiculous, dude. He's a liar. And to prove it otherwise, boy.
Don't boo. If Donald Trump does not care that a mob might attack his own vice president, do you think he cares about you? No. Pennsylvania.
And And y'all talking about he got to have decorum. He got to have value. He got to have morale. Listen to this shit. Y'all don't even know if it's true or not. You think it's true because people in suits, people anchors, and people that you think that's high Ivy League intellectual congressmen, senators, presidents are saying Trump is this evil, nasty person. Pence is a piece of shit. He was in that administration to destroy Trump and stop him from being a president. He don't know what kind of stuff that Pence affected, that destroyed and hurt people and hurt his administration. He has no idea. I don't even think Trump is even trying to look at it that way. He don't even think he think that's probably a conspiracy, paranoid thought process in his head, and he's flagging it off. But he's a fool if he don't. We know for sure Pence was going to take that stand and advocate that, hey, he wouldn't listen to me. We told him that he lost the election and he still wouldn't listen to me. I don't give a shit what you say. When one senator, when one secretary of state, when one governor decided to put ballot boxes and mail-in ballot for the whole state into play, and they didn't get the permission of the legislature branch, and then after the election, they passed bills to put it into law. Illegal. Fraudulent election. Care what the YouTube say. It's illegal. It's ridiculous. Don't even get me started. Don't even get me started. Know what happened to Pence? Those people, man, you had 2 million people. If they wanted to overrun that place, it wouldn't be nothing they could do. But guess what? There's protocols. If a certain amount of force is had against the actual police, the Capitol Police, they reach, half of them go retreat. They go get live rounds in their guns. They come back to the round, and then overwhelming force supposed to be submissive. So if people start seeing themselves get wiped out, they'll back up because they ain't got no guns. So all you got a bunch of rioters or mob people coming to the building, and they come in with force and everything, and you got half of your force standing keeping the line, and you got another half that's coming with real rounds separating, and then they fire onto the crowd. If that's what was going on, if it was got that bad, nobody was gonna come in that place and bring no harm to no senator, no Congress, and no piece of shit vice president. Boy, but what did they want to do? They could not demonize Trump supporters. They made January 6th happen to do that. You guys don't believe that because you don't know what our intelligence agencies do on a day-to-day basis. We do this to other countries. We do this to other presidents. We do this to other like systems of government in the world that we want to have influence over. That's what our CIA does. And all they did was turn our intelligence tactics against us. And we can't even shake it, even perceive that we just got had. We just lost a propaganda war against our own government. They put their weapons on us. They turned their weapons against us because that's what happened on January 6th, 2020. Oh, I know. I'm going to get flagged like crazy on this one. I know. And
yet we do not need 4 more years of that. We don't need 4 more years of arrogance and bumbling and bluster and division. America's ready to turn the page. We are ready for a better...
So funny because that's everything he just said is them. That's them. That's him. That's Kamala. That's Biden. Go listen to all the stuff they've been saying for the last... Try your best to go listen to everything they said and go listen to hours of it. Hours of their speeches, hours of their press conferences, hours of how they communicate. And you listen to it from 2015 all the way up to 2024. You'll find out who's the enemy. Who's the negative person? Who's all this stuff that he's saying? We don't need this. That's them. They gaslighting you. They telling you things that they accusing you of things that they're doing. That's gaslighting.
About 40 feet from an angry mob chanting, "Hang Mike Pence."
Fuck
And
Mike Pence.
his response was, quote, "So what?"
Propaganda.
If Donald Trump does not care that a mob might attack his own vice president, do you think he cares about you? Pennsylvania, we do not need 4 more years of that. We don't need 4 more years of arrogance and bumbling and bluster and division. America's ready to turn the page. We are ready for a better story, one that helps us work together instead of turning against each other. Pennsylvania, we're ready for President Kamala Harris. And the good news is Kamala Harris is ready to do the job. This is a leader who has spent her life fighting on behalf of people who need a voice and a champion. Somebody who was raised in the middle class, who worked a summer job at McDonald's while she earned a degree, who believes in the values that built this country. Somebody who has served with distinction in every office that she has ever held. I think we probably had a fainting spell back there. So let's make space for the emergency folks. This happens sometimes. Everybody bend their knees a little bit. You've been standing for a while.
He's telling you something, the truth. It's not a joke. Bend your knees. What it does is it gets your blood flow, and where you won't faint and stuff because you got good blood flow, and you get all your vitamins and everything rotating and everything like that, because maybe your body is kind of shutting out circulation, and that's what's going on. Idiots.
You can dance if you want. I just suggest bend your knees, but. She'll be okay. Kamala is as prepared.
And Trump, he will wait until they get that person some help. But they don't play. They don't message. Democrats don't play. Liberals don't play. Socialists, ideological people, powerful people in this country, they don't play. They are on message. They are focused. They in manipulation, control. And they understand the tactics and the psychological power over you that they must keep in mind frame. So even if it's even better for him to wait it out till the lady get help or whoever that is getting help, that's stupid stuff. Y'all, I got you. I got you. You my slave. So I'm going to we're going to finish this speech because I ain't got all day. I'm going to go back to my life.
Prepared for the job as any nominee for president has ever been. That's who Kamala is. And in the White House, she will have an outstanding partner in Governor Tim Walz. Tim is a veteran. He is a teacher. He's a coach. He's a hunter. He's been a great governor working with Democrats and Republicans to get stuff done. He can also take a vintage truck apart and put it back together again.
Yeah, he's quote unquote, he's a white man. So vote for your own white people. Vote for your white. Tim Walz is like you, whitey. So he's just a whitey. So why you gonna vote against your own whitey? You don't gotta vote for Trump. We got whiteys over here too. That's what he's communicating. You know what I'm saying? He takes apart cards and he put them together and he this and blah, blah, blah. He's like you. He hunts. Look, come on. He's fitting he's checking all your boxes, you middle Central American backwoods trailer trash crappy whitey. That's his point. It's just ridiculous. I'm just saying, Don't think this is a fair fight. Don't think this is a cordial conversation or a cordial election. Don't think that this is some communal coming together type of stuff. In the language, in the speech, in the articulation is division. The mission that they want is division.
You think Donald Trump can do that? For that matter, do you think Donald Trump has ever changed a tire in his life? I'm just trying to picture. The point is,
wow.
If you elect Kamala in 10.
I'm just saying, y'all, let him say what he want to say. Let him be Trump. Let Trump talk the way he want to, because boy, he don't got only President Obama doing this. He got ABC, NBC, CBS, MSNBC, CNN, Fox News. He got majority of the communication on Facebook. He got millions and hundreds of millions of people on Twitter. He got millions of people on YouTube. Hundreds of thousands of podcasters. The communication sphere is negative against Trump. So don't stop telling Trump and his minimum of reach that he has that he's got to pull his punches. These people are going gusto. And they're not getting judged for it. Same people that listen to them do this crazy stuff and this shameless stuff, this tacky stuff, they say, listen to him and say, he better not respond. He better not respond. He better not respond in a negative way. Otherwise, we're going to say that he's negative. He's evil. He's racist. He's evil. And because they can repetitionally say it in y'all head so many times, y'all validate their narrative instead of analyzing how they communicate. Crazy.
They won't be focused on their problems. They'll be focused on yours. They understand that too many folks here in Pennsylvania and across the country are struggling to pay the bills. Even though wages are steadily growing and inflation is finally slowing, the price of everything, from healthcare to housing to groceries, it's still too high. And that takes a real bite out of paychecks. It hurts. So the question is, who's really going to do something about it? That's what you should be asking yourself. Now, Donald Trump's plan is to do what he did last time, which was give another massive tax cut to billionaires and big corporations. And then, don't boo. I'm going to break you of this habit. And the reason some people think, well, I don't know, I remember that economy when he first came in being pretty good. Yeah, it was pretty good, because it was my economy. We had 75 straight months of job growth that I handed over to him. It wasn't something he did. I spent 8 years cleaning up the mess that the Republicans had left me the last time. So just in case everybody has a hazy memory, he didn't do nothing except those big tax cuts. His other big economic plan now is to slap tariffs on everything, from food to TVs. Now, understand what tariffs are. Anything that's coming from that's made elsewhere and comes here.
And I talked to you guys about this. I broke all this oil stuff down and how the oil influences the prices and stuff like that, his tariffs and everything like that. I gave you guys plenty of examples of all that stuff and how it benefits us and everything like that. And the actual, I guess, the the tactics to use tariffs to get your actual outcome that you want. So that means like, hey, you threaten tariffs and you place tariffs on other countries' products because they put tariffs on our stuff when it goes into their country. And to stop them from putting tariffs on our stuff when it comes into their country, we have to do equal trade. So if you put tariffs on my stuff, I'm going to put tariffs on your stuff. That stops you from putting tariffs on my stuff? Give our countries, our companies, like, do you understand that majority, all the companies that American companies, let's just put it that way, majority American companies are manufactured out of America in China. And then the products that American companies are making in China, they import it back into our country. And then that's how we do nothing but buy stuff. We don't even make stuff. We do nothing but buy stuff. So Trump is saying, if companies, and this is all in his speeches, if companies want to have manufacturing in China, if he said, hey, we will break your actual taxes for your company for every dollar that you make and everything, we will make sure that your taxes come down all the way to 15%. It's that money that you're saving, we want you to build those companies here, build that manufacturing in America. That way you make those products, you make them cheap here, and then you sell them here. And we figure out a way to make sure the taxes work out for you, that you're spending the amount of money that you would be spending in China, and we become the most competitive manufacturing structure in the world. So how cheap it is over America in China, it'll be that cheap here. You get what I'm saying? So he's saying he'll use the tariffs to make sure people don't just want to keep it the same, and they just want to just kind of manufacture out of the country and bring that stuff back in. And then other companies in China and Japan and South Korea and India, all the products that they try to make in their country, and they trying to sell that product into our country. And because we're the most consuming industry in the world, America, we consume the most. We're making other countries wealthy, extremely wealthy. And then when we make stuff to send to other countries to make money in our country, but to send it to other Europe and China and Asia and all that stuff and Middle East for them to use our products, they don't purchase our products because they got a company that's making the same thing that's in their country, and they rather have their country citizens make money before our products outsell them and make their companies fail. So what they do to make the difference of it is they actually tax and put a big amount of tax, or what they call tariffs. So if we're selling a bar of soap, if we're selling a mop, if we're selling a car, if we're selling anything into Europe, Middle East, and Asia, they put like 30 to 50% tariff on it, meaning that they paying the government to allow their products to be in their country. So when a person goes pay for that product, it's 50% more expensive than the stuff that they make in their own country. So people in the country decides to purchase Germany. They decided to purchase Volkswagen and BMWs and all the other stuff because our Fords, our Chryslers, our Cadillacs is too expensive in Europe for them to, unless they got high luxury, high value, they wealthy, they don't even buy our stuff because we got so much tariffs that Europe putting on our stuff, that Asia putting on our stuff. So when it comes over to it, it's more expensive than the stuff that they make locally there or in the country that we don't sell a lot, and our companies don't get as big as they could be because all the countries put tariffs on our products, but we don't put no tariffs on any product that's coming into the country. Even if we want it, even if we need it, even if it's something that's part of our everyday life, we don't put no tariffs on it. And now we're a consuming industry now. Our manufacturer is 10 to 20% of what we make money here for. Most of the time, we're selling barter trade, things that we made in Europe and Ireland and India and Taiwan, and then we shipping it back to us, and then we selling it to the people in our country. That's what we do the majority of the time. That's how we make money. You get what I'm saying? We make money off of the world's products to us in interest or sales commissions on selling these products. So tariffs is to stop that and have more American products being purchased and sought after and valuized inside of other countries. So, but look, the way that they talk, they use your ignorance against you. I gave him that. I gave him that. He ain't do nothing. He ain't do nothing. He ain't do nothing. I don't care about President Obama's economy, if it was good or bad. I don't care. It don't matter. Ain't nobody talking about President Obama had a bad economy and Trump had to come in. Trump had to fight for the freedom of Americans, individuality. That's what his job was. His job was to go in there, fight our borders, make sure that we're not giving our money to strangers and then destroying, allowing American citizens to go bankrupt and commit and ending their life and everything because things is too hard, and we can help them from all the taxes that they've been putting into the system, and we don't care about that. We rather put money into immigrants, refugees from Iraq and Afghanistan and Syria. We've been worrying about that for 4 or 5 years, part of President Obama's administration, and people have been losing their life and getting destroyed. And they're American citizens that can't get no help from their government because they white. Or they been here their whole life, so they black, and we don't care. We gave y'all welfare. We gave you unlimited abortion. Shut up. We're going to help these Syrians out. We're going to help Afghanistans out. We're going to help Iraqis out. We're going to make these new citizens because they're more smarter, they're more ambitious, they're more aggressive than you knuckleheads. So we got to get our new citizens in. Trump is fighting against that kind of stuff. He's fighting against a crooked DOJ, a crooked FBI, a crooked CIA. That's a crooked Pentagon. Y'all don't want to have that fight, and they ain't going to have that fight. President Obama ain't going to have that fight. That's what's going on here. That's the value of Trump. That he came in and he pumping oil and made us powerful. Where it made the gas go down. It made our economics roll and everybody start trading money even in a pandemic. The barter trade was a high end. That's where you got that's why so many multimillionaires came from the hood, came from the black community. Because everybody was giving strength to each other. We was taking risks on each other. That culture is not here no more. Everybody's fending for themselves and they're watching the Lord. It come people under them, and the people that are trying to make something of themselves, they're watching them get bled. And then you got the people that got money coming in, taking people's houses away from them because it's in bankruptcy or it's on foreclosure or they just got evicted, and they just come in and eat. So you got new money people, Patreon people, you got the new podcasters, you got the new and social influencers, you got the new tech millionaires and stuff, and the cryptocurrency guys, and you got these new money people taking assets and equity and value away from the little people because they can eat off of them now because they got the money to purchase your car that got repoed. They got the money to purchase your house that you got evicted in, that you went into bankruptcy on. They got money to take your downfall or your hard times and monopolize over it. That's the culture that Biden and Kamala and President Obama are all okay with. They okay with. They all right with it. So when he talking this stuff, no, I already walked you guys through how he made money move in this country during his presidency. That was different from how President Obama. But the narrative, you don't know where the line is. You don't know what the line is from what President Obama telling the truth at, or where he's kind of been propaganda and he's trying to manipulate you and communication. You don't know where that line is because it's blurred. Some truth, some false. some manipulations, some honesty. It's all in there, and you won't know how much because he blurs it all.
You slap extra money on top of it. And if other countries are cheating, in some cases, it makes sense because you want to have a fair playing field. But what he's proposing is basically a Trump sales.
He just admitted that Trump's policy makes sense because he's kind of remembering he is a president and what he had to deal with in some situations, or at least some things that he may thought that he probably should have did better at. He's thinking of that, so he had to admit that. So now he's going to inject propaganda. Was not really what he said, and they can't quote him on it, and they can't tell you where they heard it from or where they heard it from. They're going to put their perceptions of, oh, I understand that he fighting some countries that might be unfair, but I'm going to put this salt in the game so you won't even think about that. Stop. I'm sorry that I even said that, because that's showing favor to him. Starting to make it muddy the waters by putting this untruth thing in there. That's what he's about to do.
He didn't do nothing except those big tax cuts. His other big economic plan now is to slap tariffs on everything, from food to TVs. Now, understand what tariffs are. Anything that's coming from that's made elsewhere and comes here, you slap extra money on top of it. And if other countries are cheating, in some cases, it makes sense because you want to have a fair playing field. But what he's proposing is basically a Trump sales tax that could cost the average family almost $4,000 a year.
So he says something that's so generic, so broad spectrum, you don't even know what he's talking about, and then they use these psychological manipulating phrase, Trump sales tax. Trump sales tax. Trump sales tax. So you say, oh, hey, you support Trump, and he putting a Trump sales tax on top of he's going to put a Trump sales tax on top of our products. You have dumb people in the country. They ain't got no intelligence. They ain't never did nothing to show they had any intelligence. They start talking to this stuff on the street with you. You're like, hey, man, you're an idiot. What are you talking about, Trump sales tax? What is that? When you put like tariffs on us? So they propagandize with great slogans and phrases because people love Charmin's tissue, Dove soap, Captain Crunch, Heinz ketchup, Chip Ahoy cookies. Branding manipulates. And one of the tools that they said, and they came in to try to hurt Trump because he's the brander. He's one of the greatest branders in the world. But they wanted to take it from him and say, hey, we branded you. We used you against you. We branded you what we wanted to brand you. So that's why they say Trump tax, rapist, criminal, crook, convicted felon. They say that stuff because you're triggered by Captain Crunch, Charmin's tissue, Dove soap. That's how dumb y'all are. And you're allowing them to think. Just pay attention.
So if you're concerned about higher prices, that is not the way to get lower prices. That's going to come out of your pocket. You think prices are high now? Donald Trump's message basically is, you ain't seen nothing yet. All right,
so his point is that Trump is trying to get reelected to hurt people. He's gonna come into the actual presidency, and he's just gonna find a way to make your Snicker bar, instead of it being $3.19 because of inflation like it is now, he's just gonna, out of spite, he's just coming in to make it $5 to $6. Just out of spite, because he's just a racist, Ku Klux Klan, angry asshole, don't care about nobody but himself type of person. He's coming to take women's abortion away because he hate women. He hate women. He hate them having autonomy over their body. So he not only gonna just get rid of Roe v. Wade, but he's gonna bring it back to the federal government just to make it that no woman can get abortion. That was the whole point about destroying Roe v. Wade is to bring a Roe v. Wade, in his view, into play. This is how they think, that how dumb you guys are, that they can just say this stuff and you're so triggered by the person and they persona because of the birth certificate trolling of Trump, the Central 5 knuckleheads, that a black detective still thinks to this day that was the detective behind the head of the actual case, still think those guys are guilty of. That triggers you. Him decided that he wants the renters of any apartment complex that they have to have 3 times the amount of their rent that they make a month. That's terrible. You don't understand the context of things. So you may hate them, but you need to know the context of everything. And then you need to make sure that you put stuff in historical value, in the time that we're in, the time that stuff is going on, and what's popping off, and what happened, and what's the actual real context of the situation. But you guys don't want to do that. You want to do soundbite shit. You're a TikTok thinker. Got TikTok brain.
As far as you can tell, that's his plan, right? Because it's not written down anywhere. When it comes to health care, you heard it in the debate. Donald Trump's got one answer. Ending the Affordable Care Act that 45 million people rely on. The other day, his running mate, J.D. Vance.
Hey, y'all, if y'all need Obamacare, that means things is not going financially well for you. You need help with that. You need some, all the mandates, all the actual fair situations are in place to any healthcare provider now. They can't analyze you and stop you from any illness or use your illnesses against you to give you coverage. They can't do that on anything. So if you need Obamacare, that means you got some financial issues and you need to find a way to get some kind of health care as cheap as you possibly can. That's what Affordable Care Act is. So if you got a good health care, if you got a good job and everything, and if you making good money and you kind of figuring out how you want to pay for your health care and everything like that, it's affordable for you, but the levels of it is all different between yours and the Affordable Care Act. So I'm not saying the Affordable Care Act bad. Keep it. Have a good time. All this stuff. Abortion, all that stuff. Enjoy it. You get what I'm saying? Women got to understand you do men more of a favor when you get abortion than you don't. So go right ahead.
You gotta vote. The other day, his running mate had the nerve to say, Donald Trump salvaged the Affordable Care Act. I mean, Donald Trump spent his entire presidency trying to tear it down. And by the way, he couldn't even do that right. And now,
he couldn't do that. He couldn't do it because he had everything going against him. I mean, he had everything going for him. And then when the final vote came down, it was in the hands of a Republican. And that Republican hate the shit out of Donald Trump. And he turned his hand and went down. He voted against it out of spite. That's that piece of shit dead John McCain. Okay? That's what happened. And he is a piece of shit. So, look, freedom of speech, y'all. I get to say whatever I want to say about him. You can trigger all you want. You get what I'm saying? You let them say whatever they want. You know? I don't care. But these is crappy people. I don't know. I look at these podcasters and everything like this, and all these Trump supporters and all these like these Republican conservative communicators and podcasters. You got the Daily Wire, you got Charlie Kirk, you got all these PBD and all this stuff like this. But it's a bunch of it's like even kill stuff. They're demolishing this country. They're demolishing this stuff. And if we win, it's on the basis of Trump just got it. He just got it. People know a real one. And they just supporting him. That's the only reason why he won. Not because of PBD. Not because of Charlie Kirk. Not because of what's his name? Tucker Carlson. Not because of Megyn Kelly. Not because of the people that decide to be supportive of him. Because all they do is they spend 80% of their time telling him how he should talk, how he should conduct himself, what kind of decorum, what kind of statesman that they feel that he should be in order to get across the line and be appealing to the female white suburban vote. The dumbest people in the country you want him to appeal to. End results is he might be getting messed up still. No. Say how you feel. Tell the truth. Don't lie. Be blunt and honest. Be objective. Yeah, they're going to call your truth lies because they love gaslighting. They like to accuse you of what Democrats, politicians, celebrities, all these knuckleheads, media, they like to accuse the opposition of what they're doing. And if you gotta understand, y'all, 90% of all your news outlets are owned by movie studios. Disney owns ABC. Okay? Universal Studio owns NBC, MSNBC. Paramount owns CBS. Do you understand that? When you get that in your head, the Warner Brothers own CNN. When you get that in your head, you understand that every person, every company that deals with communication in movies and storytelling and commercials, all that stuff, they have put billions of dollars to have the narrative that Trump is a criminal. He's a convicted felon. He's a rapist. He's a crook. He's a Ku Klux Klan member. And we're going to keep telling you this over and over and over again. And what we're not doing, we have the CIA, we have the FBI, we have the DOJ putting together missions and operations to inject Trump-hating, anti-Trumper FBI agents and their informants into a rally to make a rally combust into a riot to have the only thing that they can show that Trump supporters are violent or they can't be trusted or they're white supremacists or some crazy stuff. They used January 6th to typecast Trump supporters as evil, racist, violent assholes. They couldn't do it before then. So they had to put FBI informants. They had to use the government to make that happen. Why? Because liberals, Black Lives Matters, Democrats, we got plenty of footage, plenty of video of them burning down cities, doing riots, killing and murdering, all kind of stuff. The stuff that was collected from 2014 all the way up to really 2012, all the way up to 2024, literally. Trump supporters are not the problem, liberals are. That's what the narrative was, but for somehow and what's actually interesting and is sad is that their narrative of January 6th is like having a bunch of Trump supporters have riots every single month, every single week. It has that value in the brains of the American people and the mindset of the American people that they hear it so much. They kind of have it in the back of their head that Trump supporters are racist, white supremacists, evil people, and they are rioters, and they trying to destroy our country. They have that perception in the average American person's head because they say January 6th, 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 January 6th. They say that so much that people believe January 6th was terrible. 4 windows broken. We got some people that got some Capitol Police people that got hurt on that day. You had 4 Trump supporters get killed on that day. Now, somewhere down the road, for some reason, months later, 3 Capitol Police officers decided to commit suicide. That's a whole nother situation. I ain't got time to get in while I'm talking about this guy. Okay? But telling y'all got propagandized. Espionage got put on us by our own government. And the way that we save this country is to know that's what happened. And how you going to get that message out when you got Charlie Kirk trying to find ways that's civilized to communicate how destructive this country is being and how ridiculous and foolish the citizens are being. And they won't say it. They won't talk about it. They won't have the honest, blunt conversation. I will. Dan Bongino, he loving his subscription and his people and all that stuff like that. And even he talk hardcore and rough, but he ain't saying what needs to be said. What needs to be truthfully, honestly communicated. Patrick McDavid, he's an insurance conglomerate. Successful man. Is only so much conversation he gonna have on his platform that don't mess with his money and his prestige and the prestigeness and professionalism of how he wants society to look at him and his company. He ain't gonna mess that up. That's what's going on here, y'all. And the faster y'all understand that, the faster you can make the right decision. Because how can you fight black people telling you that a white person is racist? Well, we know for sure in the last 40, 50 years, you can't fight against that. One thing you don't want to be branded is a racist person by a black person, because even if you are and even if you're not, it doesn't even matter, because the black person just labeled you that. And that's it. That's it. All we got to do is label it to you. No proof, no facts, no error. Take things out of context. We just got to label it and you're done. You'll never be able to take that off of you. That's the way it is. So how did Trump fight that situation? And I'm saying he fight it by having every single Republican, every single podcaster, every single Trump supporter, every single person that actually advocates on the things that he's for and who he is and what they feel about him and them voting for him. Y'all go to war. Y'all get nasty. Y'all put things into context. Have the bluntness of the situation. You have an anchor or a commentary person on the news station say some crazy stuff on the top of their head like, "Oh, Trump's is a racist." Well, okay, hold on a second. Well, what's the racist thing that he did? Oh, he did this and did this. No, show me the tape. Because otherwise, that's you saying he did that, and you taking it out of context. I want to see the tape. I want to see the comment. I want to see this total communication. I don't want your perception of it. I don't care who you are. I want to see it. I want to read it myself. I want to hear it myself. And it's for if the people are too dumb to ask that question or vet what they hear or what they see in that situation. It's for his supporters. It's for the commentary, people that's on the news, the people that's on the podcast, it's people that's out there in his surrogates and all that. You take the fight. Don't go to the next topic. Laura Ingraham talking this crazy stuff to you, and she just say something like that, or she mentions something, or she don't have a full context or something because she want to go to the next conversation. You stop it, and you keep bringing up the context that needs to be communicated in truthful honesty. Now, yeah, she gives Laura Ingraham, she gives a broad spectrum out, but she don't fight a narrative that's out there. And not only her, Sean Hannity, Charlie Kirk, Patrick David, even Fresh and Fit, they try their best to try to do it, but they interject their personality and they self into the equation that they don't allow the data to be there and to be understood that this is the truth of the matter. You guys, all of you guys got power. Daniels, y'all got power to make sure the narrative, yes, you might have to stay on your podcast an hour more. You might have to stay on it 45 minutes more to let that videotape play, to let that context play. But that's what we need as a country. We need more information, not less. Yes, you can always go in and soundbite your episode, but the episode need to be there just in case people want to seek out more conversation, more context. You need to have given the context, the full context of a discussion. How y'all letting how did Biden, Obama, Kamala keep using Charlottesville? Like they actually telling the truth, or they having some kind of context that's accurate. You gotta play the tape. Going to my episodes, I did all this. Okay? How did y'all let January 6th be the boogeyman to y'all that y'all don't even want to argue that? You want to argue the corruption of that. Y'all don't even know about the bombs, the little fake bombs that they put around in on the camera planting those bombs. Y'all don't even want to talk about that. Y'all don't even want to talk about the Epps guy egging people on to do malicious stuff to the actual rally and try to push and fight into the actual Capitol building, and then him doing it the night before, getting a rally started the night before to advocate that people need to do this in the following day, and y'all don't even want to talk about that. And he ended up being an FBI informant. Y'all don't even want to talk about that. Y'all don't even want to talk about that the documents and the emails that got sent from the DNC was given to WikiLeaks by a DNC employee, and anything else, it's aftermath scrubbing. Y'all don't even want to talk about that. How do the Republicans, how do the actual people that's trying to fight for our Constitution or the spirit of America or the America that we want to raise our kids in, how y'all want to fight for that, and y'all idly standing by not fighting the narrative that the oppositions are putting out there, especially when you know it's not truthful. It's all lies and propaganda. Why? Because they want to preserve the FBI. They want to preserve the CIA. They want to preserve the Pentagon. They want to preserve the departments. We can clean it out. We don't have to destroy everything. Yes, we do. We clean it house. That's why they don't want Trump to be president. That's why all of his friends and foes and people that act like they were good employee status as vice president, that's why they all doubling down and they willing to vote for Kamala, because they know he coming to clean house. Especially when he actually got Elon Musk to help him do a deep audit of every single department and agency in the country. Boy, so y'all, they don't want him to be no president. They don't want him to be president. And if what I'm saying actually gets out and magnify, they're going to try to get him again.
8 years after he was elected, when he was asked about what he was going to do, he says he's got concepts of a plan.
Nope, he said, I'm not president. I can't even go in there and talk to the actual Congress people and hold meetings in the Capitol Hills because I'm not president. See, they doing these soundbite things to trigger y'all because y'all don't understand the context. If you're not president, you can't come up with a bill. You can't even know what the numbers are to the system and what your options are. You can't even hold detailed meetings with all the pharmaceutical companies, all the actual medical insurance companies. You can't even, and all the hospitals. You can't even hold a meeting without the president power. The power of the presidency. So he's saying, hey, I'm handicapped a little bit to how much I can talk and plot this together by me not being the president. But they making fun of it. But he's saying, hey, look, I'm not just destroying Obamacare. If we can't do nothing better, this is what he said in the actual debate. If we can't do nothing better, I'm leaving it alone. I'll try to make it work better, but we're leaving it alone. But if I can, I'll look and see what I could do when I have the presidency power. If I could say, send letters and send information to hospitals, heads of pharmaceutical companies, heads of actual medical insurance companies, and they all come to the White House. We have a discussion. I talk to every single one of them. We be in there for 7 to 8 hours, working it out, seeing what some situations that could be put into play. I got a bill now. That's how that works. But what they doing is, because Trump is so respectful to the American people that he walking you through the process of even thinking about coming up with another health care bill. They said, who are you talking to the American people like they're intelligent, man? You so dumb. They probably didn't understand what you were trying to say. So we're going to take the little soundbite that you try to have a little quick communication with them. You try to summarize everything, and we're going to use that against you like you dumb. Like you got a concept of a plan. Y'all crazy. Go look at the debate. When they mention something that he said in the debate, go look at it. That's what you're supposed to be doing, so you can make sure that you're not being propagandized, so you're not being manipulated. But you're too dumb.
For how he'd replace it. Now, I want y'all to think about this for a second. Let's say your boss gives you an assignment, project. He says, I need this on Friday. And Friday comes around and he says, so, did you finish that project I asked for? And you say, well, I actually haven't started, but I have a concept of a plan. Or you could try it at home. Honey, did you do the dishes? I have a concept of a plan to do the dishes. How's that going to go over? If it wouldn't work for you, why in the heck should it work for the President of the United States?
Because every single bill, every single legislation is dealt in theory of what's the information that you know, and then you gotta bring the people into the play. The concept of a plan is, we knew what was going on with Affordable Care Act, and we know what the problem of it is and what's the good factors of it is. So we got to incorporate the good stuff of the Affordable Care Act. What was the issues of it? We got to kind of know how to correct those situations. But the best way to do it is I have to sit down and talk to pharmaceutical companies. I have to talk to the healthcare industry. I have to talk to hospitals. I have to talk to health insurance companies. I have to talk to these people and then take my theory and what I think they should be doing that helps them out, but don't hurt the American people. Help the American people out, but don't hurt the companies. I got to figure it out, but I need to have the presidency to do it. Why? Because nobody's going to come to Trump Tower. Nobody's going to come to Mar-a-Lago to the amount of people we need. Yes, you might get some people that understand what I'm doing and what I'm trying to accomplish, but you won't have the mandate of it. And by being the president, you have the mandate of it. Because why? Because of Medicare, Medicaid, that we pay for a lot of money. We give the government gives a lot of money to hospitals and the medical facilities and all the other stuff, so they have to do a barter and trade with us, and one of those barter trades is you come and talk to me. So you can use that presidency for that, And so he's so when Trump says, hey, Affordable Care Act, if we can't change it, we're going to wait until we come up with something. And then the lady said, well, you don't have anything that you came up with? Yes, we have something that we coming up with. We have ideas and we have concepts of things that we want to do, but we got to wait. I need the presidency to kind of work this all out. Now, they saying that Trump was stupid politically by just being that honest with the American people to say, hey, no, we're going to wait until we talk to everybody that's setting prices. We're going to wait until I got the presidency power to bring their ass in and hammer it out. I'm not going to just come up with something and then draw a bill out as a non-president. I'm going to use what I've been coming up with, what we came up with the first time, some of the concepts that we came up and bills that we actually was going to get passed if we went, because you got to remember, if John McCain didn't turned down on that, they would have had to put a healthcare bill into place. So they did have something to put in place. So all that with the new information that they have and the conversation that he would have been unhindered by not being distracted by getting reelected, they'll come up with a bill and they'll bring that to the American people. That's the concept. But he know you guys are too dumb to understand the context of what Trump was saying.
But the good news is, Kamala Harris, she doesn't have concepts for a plan. She has an actual plan to make your life better. To bring down the cost of things like groceries. She'll go after corporations.
Hold on a second. No. I thought she had a concept of healthcare. Where's her healthcare? You talking about groceries? You're supposed to be in opposition to Trump's concept. So what's her plan for healthcare?
Jacking up prices. Just like she went after big banks and for-profit colleges when she was an attorney general in California. And believe me, when she does, nobody's going to want to stand in her way. I remember after the home mortgage crisis, Kamala pushed me and my administration harder than any other attorney general in the country to make sure homeowners got a fair settlement. It did not matter that she was pushing a Democratic administration. She was not going to let anybody stop her from winning as much relief as possible for the families who deserved it. And because of the work she did, those families got billions more than they would have otherwise got. That's the kind of president Kamala Harris will be.
Yeah, that's all in California. And it's a Democrat president doing a favor for a Democrat attorney general. So, I don't want to hear that stuff. Because what happened in Michigan when people was losing their house and they had to walk away from their house? What happened to them? What happened to people in Chicago? What happened to people in Georgia? They ain't get the same treatment. It's ridiculous. Yo, y'all crazy, man. Y'all got to do y'all research. They reinventing history in order to elevate and glorify her.
To lower housing costs, Kamala will cut red tape and work with governors like Josh Shapiro, as well as the private sector, to build 3 million new homes. And she'll give first-time home buyers up to $25,000 to help with the down payment. Plans, concrete plans. And for a lot of folks, that could be the difference between watching their dreams pass them by. As well as the private sector to build 3 million new homes. And she'll give first-time home buyers up to $25,000 to help with the down payment. Plans, concrete plans. And for a lot of folks, that could be the difference between watching their dreams pass them by and finally owning a place of their own.
Okay, sorry about that. Something sticking. I just want to make sure everything is good. Come on. No sticking on me.
To lower health care costs, Kamala already worked with Joe Biden to take on the drug companies and bring down the cost of insulin and hearing aids and more than 50 prescription drugs. And as president, she will never stop working to limit out-of-pocket costs and protect your care. That's who Kamala is. She's got a track record of doing it. And here's a big one. Instead of giving more tax breaks to billionaires and raising prices on working families, Kamala will give a tax cut to 100 million middle class and working people here in America.
And all she's doing, look, and if you guys do your research and you go look at her speeches and stuff, all she's doing is keeping the tax cut that Trump put for you guys into play. That's what she's doing. She's just keeping it into play. She agrees with it. We're going to heighten on the other rich people and the rich people that we feel that should pay their fair share. But you know what? He did a good job when he get y'all, when he lowered your tax cuts to so far down. And if you make it like only $17,000 or $20,000, he really lowered yours. We're going to keep that in place and we're going to call it ours because it's going to be inside our bill to stop the rich. So all they doing is saying, okay, let me look at Trump's tax cut. We're going to keep the middle class tax cut. We're going to keep the lower income people tax cut. And we're just going to hire the amount for the actual rich people and the companies and the corporate companies and stuff. And then we're going to put our name on it. And we're going to give it back to the Senate and the Congress to pass. And I'm going to sign it into legislation and call it, I gave you a tax cut. But all I did was gave you what you already had that Trump gave you, with the tax cut for everybody that he put into his bill. That's what they said, you idiots.
So, if you're a new parent, you could qualify for a $6,000 tax credit during the first year of your child's life.
Why would you having a baby in like February, okay? April or some stuff like that. You're having a baby, right? Hold on a second, because something just happened to my stream. Hold on a second. Okay. You're having a baby in February or April, okay? And then you're buying stuff. You're getting hit up. Or you're trying to find money and you're struggling to feed your baby and clothe your baby and give him a good life, or even try to kind of stay home and take care of your baby enough time because your job is asking for you to come back, or you only got a certain amount of time that you are able to stay home from your job and everything, or you think that you should be staying home for your job because it's not making enough. It's not the full amount of the money that you normally make, so you got to try to go back to work as fast as you possibly can. So you need that money right then and there, but they tell you to wait till next year to get a tax cut on the money that you're making from your job this year while you're pregnant, while you need the money. Ridiculous. Idiots.
Because I don't have to tell a lot of you, raising kids is hard. And she wants to make it easier to afford stuff like a crib or a car seat.
That means when you're having a baby and while your baby is coming out and you signing the birth certificate and everything like that, and once that birth certificate goes into the system and the data goes into the system, then the government, the U.S. Treasury, should be sending you a check for $6,000 if you want to help people when they at the hardest part of their life, when the first 6 months of having that baby. Taking care of that baby so you can get off on your feet, you get back to work, and then you make some money. But right now you need a cushion. That's how that should work. That ain't what they talk about. They talk about a damn tax cut you get on the kid's first birthday.
Or diapers. I remember buying diapers. I remember the first time I went in the store, right after Malia was born. I was like, what? That's how much diapers cost? I remember changing diapers. You think Donald Trump ever changed a diaper?
Okay, I don't know why this is sticking on me. I really don't. We're almost there, y'all. We're almost at the end of this. But I don't want them sticking on me. I'd rather let this play out. Oh.
On working families, Kamala will give a tax cut to 100 million middle class and working people here in America. So, if you're a new parent, you could qualify for a $6,000 tax credit.
Why is this sticking on me?
During the first year of your child's life. Because I don't have to tell a lot of the rape.
Okay, guys, I'm sorry. I don't know what's going on with this stream. Sticking on me a lot. It's freezing up on me, you know. I'm pretty sure you guys been through this with a lot of podcasters and stuff like that. So I don't know what's going on with that. So give me 1 second. I want to try something, okay? Nope, because I think if I stop the stream, it'll end the stream. Okay, don't want to do that then.
Raising kids is hard. And she wants to make it easier to afford stuff like a crib or a car seat or diapers. I remember buying diapers. I remember the first time I went in the store right after Malia was born. I was like, what? That's how much diapers cost? I remember changing diapers. You think Donald Trump ever changed the diaper?
No chance.
Yeah. I almost said that, but I decided I shouldn't say it. If you're starting a small business, Kamala Harris will give you a $50,000 tax credit to help you get it off the ground. That's who Kamala Harris is.
How you gonna get a business off the ground? A $50,000 tax credit to get a business off the ground. How the hell you gonna get a tax credit when you need that business? You need that tax credit. You need $50,000 to get the business in infancy, to even make it be in existence. You need that money right then and there. You need that loan. You need that actual money man, I done a lot. I accomplished a lot doing what I'm doing in my film industry and do what I do, what I brought to the table and who I am and the power that I can immense onto that actual market. Okay. $50,000 would have helped me so much. I'm extremely financially hurt because I didn't have that kind of hand up. I got the power, but after you acquire the power, you got to somewhat balance out your finance now because you took risk and you did what needed to be done to get the thing done, get the asset in hand. So after that, you got to balance yourself out financially. So if I had a $50,000 that I could have got in the beginning of my stuff, oh my goodness, it would have been powerful. Or even just to get from the things that I already done. Then you need that. That's what I'm saying. They talking about if you in a situation where you could get a $50,000 tax cut, meaning that you spent $50,000 10 times over, meaning that in order for you to get $50,000, that's got to be an amount of your tax percentage that allows that you need to pay taxes for. But they said, hey, we'll give you a tax credit so you won't have to pay that $50,000. So that means you got to make it. And then all you do is get a little bit of your money back the following tax season. Or you get your $50,000 of your money back to tax season. After you made it, where you don't need the shitty government. Retarded. They need that business up front. They need that $20,000 up front. They need that $6,000 up front. They need that $50,000 up front. And they talking this crazy stuff because you guys don't know no better. They could just say, hey, we didn't say that we give you $50,000 for your small business. We say if you do good, if you're a smart business person, if you do good work and you get an accumulation of $50,000 in taxes that you need to pay to us, we will waive it that you don't have to pay it to us. if you birthed out a kid and your husband or your man or your baby daddy or you are able to somewhat work it out where you can get past that first year, and then the next following year when you claim your taxes, you would make it that you don't have to give us $6,000. We'll let you have $6,000 relief. That's what they're saying.
That's what she stands for. So.
Yeah, like I'm hurting my stream because I'm pausing it, talking to you guys. But I'm going to try my best to just let it play. But that's, we still got about 20 minutes to go. So
with Kamala, you've got actual plans. Trump.
I have no ideas what's going on, guys. It's giving me some teeth right now. Some teeth. I'm looking at the stream. I'm looking at the data that's communicating, and it's enough for me not to have this kind of issue.
Of a plane.
Let me let it catch up.
Now, if you challenge Trump to elaborate and enumerate his concepts, he will fall back on one answer. J.D. Vance does the same thing. Doesn't matter what the issue is, housing, healthcare, education, paying the bills. Their only answer is to blame immigrants. They want you to believe that if you let Donald Trump round up whoever he wants, by the way, and ship them out, all your problems will be solved. Now, we've got real issues at the border. We are a nation of laws and a nation of immigrants. We have to make sure it's fair. There are communities at the border that can be overrun. We've got to actually solve a problem. But when I hear Donald Trump talking, I've got one question. As I recall, Donald Trump was president for 4 years. And if rounding up and deporting millions of desperate people and building the beautiful wall, and didn't matter whether some of those folks you rounded up were women and children, if that's the answer to everything, well, why didn't you solve the problem?
And just because yes, I already talked to you guys about this within this episode and the previous part one of this, and I broke down what happened with Paul Ryan and all that stuff. But if I don't stop it and say it when he's saying it, then it gets caught. I don't know if you guys got the attention span to remember what I said and all the other stuff. Look. Paul Ryan and the Republicans was blocking him from building his wall. In addition, they like that they didn't want to have a solid decision on immigration because it would leave out the workers that they feel that's good for companies and entrepreneurs and corporate companies that they getting the donors talking to them about. So he had to fight with the Republicans. Obviously, he had to fight with Democrats. Democrats want open borders. Okay. By the time Trump got done, man, he had 28,000 Mexican soldiers along the full 2,000 miles of our border. Go look at my Migrant Paradox episode that I have. Click the links at the bottom in the description on Rumble. I got a series called The Migrant Paradox. It's 3 parts to it. Okay? And I walk you through and I show you everything, video, everything. He had Mexico lock their border down. They even did it up into the northern areas and the different areas of entry into their country. Anywhere from any country, he had them lock that stuff down. So he had a human border wall. In addition to that, he had our people at the border. Okay, he was deporting people like crazy. Nancy Pelosi called him up and say, "Can you stop that? Can you stop it? These are innocent women and kids, and you're doing it." And he, for a favor for her, he slowed it down and stopped it. Trust me, everybody that knows what they need to know and know what the truth is, they know he was that real one on that border. But he knows how dumb you guys are, so he's using your ignorance against you. And then he took money out of the Pentagon and said, "Nope, this is for the safety and desperate situations that's going on in our country at our border, and it's for the actual safety of America. That this is an emergency usage. I'm gonna get this border mile made." And he got 200 to 500 miles made. He got 200 to 500 miles made of the border wall. That's why you got it to this day. Biden came in, stopped it, sent executive orders to say immediately stop, made the military and everybody stop building the border wall. And then they sold the pieces because they had about a couple hundred more miles of border wall to go. They just sold the steel. That's what happened. But he know you guys are too dumb to know that, so that's why his rhetoric. That's why he's speaking the way he is.
Why were the number of immigrants basically the same?
Because I can't call President Obama dumb. I can't say that he's stupid and he's ignorant, because he's not. He's using your ignorance against you. You're the dummy. You're the dummy. So he's intelligent to know. I don't care what y'all say. American people are so dumb. No matter how much I say this, no matter how much we say this part of the campaign, and we hit this narrative over and over again, they look at us and they feel like we so much better than them that they not gonna question us. And he was right. He's right.
When you left office is when you took office. I'll tell you why. Because he didn't have a real plan. He had talking points. This is when you took office.
I don't even know what he said in that. So let me rewind that.
Actually solve a problem. But when I hear Donald Trump talking, I've got one question. As I recall, Donald Trump was president for 4 years. And if rounding up and deporting millions of desperate people and building the beautiful wall, and didn't matter whether some of those folks you rounded up were women and children.
That's why he's saying that.
Well, why didn't
they know he did round them up?
Why were the number of immigrants basically the same when you left office is when you took office? I'll tell you why. Because he didn't have a real plan. He had talking points.
And I tell you one thing, I hate stopping it because it's hard to get this back on track because of something's going on in the streaming. But man, I don't even know if you guys are intelligent or you can even kind of historically understand how much they scrubbed the numbers. They scrubbing stuff. They scrubbing terrible stuff that they're doing. And they always say the FBI agents are good. It's just the leaders above them. The FBI agents are watching their bosses do some of the most crooked stuff and tell them to do crooked stuff. And everybody in the whole government of the Biden and Kamala administration, and even in President Obama's administration, they watch them do the stuff they know is ethically wrong and in the integrity of our country, our Constitution is wrong. Because don't call us, we're not a democracy, we're a republic. Our people, our leaders are servants of the people. That's a republic. That's the definition. Democracy says that if a bunch of people agree, we fucked. The republic means that our representatives, they got to represent us. But we're trying to turn it into a democracy. That's why senators and congressmen vote for stuff that they didn't come back to their constituents, hold a town hall and get approval by the citizens in that town hall, and then take their ass back to Washington and vote on that bill. The reason why they don't do that, because they're trying to turn this into some shitty democracy. It's ridiculous. But they use your ignorance against you. Really, they do.
He had concepts of a plan, and the plan was mean and ugly, and it was designed to enhance his politics and make people angry, not to solve the problem. You know what You know what would actually help bring order to the border and fix our immigration
Boy, I tell you.
system? The bipartisan deal that Kamala Harris supported, even
Boy, come on, y'all. Y'all gotta stop this. This is ridiculous. Okay, I need y'all to keep up with the speed. Okay, this border bill that they talking about. Look, I got this in the migrant paradox too. I break this all down too. You guys got to go to Rumble, watch my episode on that. Look, I'm not coming out of nowhere with this stuff, okay? So when I'm saying it to you, I'm giving you the honest, the truth, and blunt and an objective analysis of this stuff. Look, when you guys are watching TV and you see all those people, migrants coming to the country, coming over the border, looking all crazy and laying under the bridge of Texas and all that stuff, it was about 5,000 to 7,000 people coming in to our country per day, okay? To make it look that crazy and that wild. And then they had to flush those people into the cities and up north and everything and send them up to where we at right now. And it gives you the chaos situation that you have right now. It was 5,000 to 7,000 people per day that they were letting in. That bill put into law, the same exact thing can happen, but they minimize it to 5,000 people. And that's 5,000 people totaling up amount 7 days. So that means if more than 35,000 people come in and 5,000 per day, and it all equals up to 35,000 in a week, they close down the border. And so they can actually have an influx in. And once they put the people into where they need to put them at so it can be reasonable, where in the entries and everything, then they open it back up and let another 5,000 people in. So let's say if 20,000 people come on one day, that's okay because it's not the 35 within 7 days. That's what they got in law. So we can't let more than 2,000 people come in tomorrow. But they can't. They can't let more than, they can let 5,000 come in. If another 5,000 come in the following day, another 5,000 will come in the following, and they just had that one day that was 20,000, it's okay because we're ready for the 5,000 per day. So still, you can mess around and have 42,000 people come in per week under the law, and it's legal. So make a long story short, 80% of everything that happened over the last 4 years with the migrant situation coming in, and they don't have to come through the entry. They can just come exactly how they've been coming in, through any port, under any bridge, under any wall area, over any wall area, through the woods, whatever they want. They can come in the same amount of way, and they're legalizing it. That had that in that bill. And they put stuff in there that Trump, as the executive branch, he couldn't like stop for the safety of the country, anything. He had to let it happen. He had no authority over the border anymore. That's what was in that bill. It's ridiculous. But they use your ignorance against you because you don't know what's up.
The bill is written by one of the most conservative Republicans in Congress.
Yeah. Oh, see, one thing they did good through this election is they made Republicans advocate for them and their policies, and that's how they're winning right now. They got too many Republicans against Trump, veterans against Trump, and then you got the political apparatus, conservative people or Republicans, military people and presidents and all that stuff going against Trump. So it's just too overwhelming. It makes you have to think for yourself and know what the truth is. And people don't trust themselves. They trust what their leaders tell them, what people they think is more rich than them tell them, or more successful than them tell them. And that's where their brain going. And they're hoping that works when you're in that ballot box and you see that name, you just don't go against voting for the first woman president. On top of that, it's Trump, Kamala. I just can't shade on Trump. They hoping that psychological warfare helps them inside the booth where you're not paying attention to the facts and the truth, and that you got lied to and manipulated. They don't want you to get angry about being manipulated, so they using how you think of yourself and your own value against you. because you don't think value. You won't look at President Obama, hear him talk and say, this is an idiot. This is a stupid thing he just said to me. This is an idiot-ass conversation he having. Because it is. They know you would never put your thought process over President Obama's. And they use that against you. Using your ignorance against you.
Same bill that Donald Trump tanked on purpose.
And they got no evidence of Trump taking no bill. When it's all said and done, everybody gave an opinion. He gave his opinion on it. And they talking about that tanked the bill. But they don't got no cause. They don't got no communication of him saying nothing. But even if he did, I don't want them sign no bill to legalize what happened. That's all that is.
Because he thinks fear-mongering is how he's going to win this election.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on. This is plenty of speed, man. I just don't know what's going on. I don't know why it's not playing.
He told Republicans, even the ones who...
Trying to look at this, guys. See what's going on with my speed. Come on.
That originally supported, don't vote for it. Because he doesn't want the problem solved. We don't need a president who will make problems worse just to make his own political circumstances better.
Yeah, come on.
We need a president who actually cares about solving problems and making your life better. And that's what Kamala Harris will do.
Okay, hold 1 second, guys. I have no idea why this is sticking like this. We almost done, too. We almost done. I just got to let him bloviate. Man, dude. It's good numbers I got. I have no idea what's going on with this video clip.
And to help her do it, she will need a Senate full.
Sorry, guys. I'm telling you guys the truth on this. I have no idea why this is doing this. So give me 1 second. I'm going to bring a new clip in. Because maybe I just need to bring the video in a new clip. And maybe that'll help a little bit. Because I don't like this. So give me 1 second. We're going to get this right. We're going to get this right, y'all. We're going to get this right. We almost done. We almost there. Okay. Okay, let me see. Okay. Okay. Go here. This is 1920. Boom, boom, boom.
Of serious public service.
Okay, hold on a second. What's going on here? I just brought this in, a new one in. Let's see.
Of serious public service, like Bob Casey. I'm going to talk about this man just for a second. I've known Bob for almost 20 years. I've watched his daughters grow up. I know his brothers and cousins, and let me tell you, there are a lot of brothers and cousins. And I can tell you that no one is more humble and more honest and more rooted in his community and has more integrity than Bob Casey. You know, in Washington, folks make a distinction between work horses and show horses. And Bob Casey, he's not a show pony. All the guy cares about is doing the job and looking after you, the people he was elected to serve. That's the kind of person we need to send back to Washington. That's the kind of person who's going to help Kamala get stuff done. Folks who share our values and will do what they can to move this country forward rather than backward. That's who Bob Casey is. One of those values is freedom. And during election time, there are a lot of flags and there's a lot of talk about freedom. So let me talk about that just for a second. Because I don't think we've ever had an election with candidates who understand freedom more differently. For Donald Trump and his cronies, freedom means that the powerful can do whatever they please. Fire workers for trying to organize a union. Dodge paying their fair share of taxes. Try to throw out your votes when they lose an election. Control what women can and can't do with their bodies. In other words, for Trump, freedom is getting away with stuff. It's like he said in the middle of the pandemic. I don't take any responsibility at all. People were...
Yeah, they putting words in his mouth and stuff, and I gotta walk through this stuff. Try to be diplomatic here, but you can't. They propaganda is so off the hook, and it's so narrative and so like sound bite-ish that you just can't not let them just bloviate. Even if I talked about this stuff and put this stuff in context and hope that you guys took the information that I already communicated and apply it to what's been said at that point, I can't trust that. So let's walk through this.
To understand freedom more differently. For Donald Trump and his cronies, freedom means that the powerful can do whatever they please.
Who is his cronies? Us? His supporters? Like we believe that the powerful could do what they want to do. Y'all, you are the powerful. And you've been doing what you want. And your administration did what they want. That's the only reason why you did is certain power that you have already showed that you even did what you wanted. And you allow white people inside of the Pentagon and intelligence agency to do it. So don't tell me about like power and being influenced by power and your like judgment of the powerful. Who's powerful that's supporting Trump? Who? The bankers hate him? You get what I'm saying? Or at least the Blackstone real estate hate him because he got the luxury stuff and he was better than they was in the decision factor, and when it was time to actually make those big decisions, he did it. Who's? Mark Zuckerberg ain't no Trump supporter. The original people of Twitter, they wasn't. They spent the last 8 years using Twitter against them. Who are you talking about? Google scrubs people and demonetizes people and destroys people economic situations to make sure that they don't communicate anything that's not favorable. I don't know if this recording going to get scrubbed because I'm crossing a lot of lines. So that's crazy.
Fire workers for trying to organize a union.
A company has the right to fire workers if they organize in unions. I'm not gonna put my company into the hands of a bunch of people that deciding that they want to have just as much control of my company as I do. What would this world be if every single company actually the survival of it was what was the happiness of the people that worked there. The survival of companies are to the survival of the company. If they ain't making enough money, they gonna have to audit themselves, do a consultant of themselves, and they're gonna have to downscale. They're gonna have to fire people. They're gonna have to have the freedom to fire people and downsize. And they cannot have a union telling them that they absolutely cannot fire people no matter what, no matter how bad they do. They need to spend every single dime taking care of those people, even if they're not making a profit. They need to make sure that they do what's best for the union. Well, come on. If you're an entrepreneur, if you're any type of company, you know you ain't favor of that. I don't care what your liberal thought process is. So you're going to have the option if people picketing for 2 weeks, 3 weeks, and you got a company to run, and every single person that's in the company is outside picketing on the front, and you are losing money and losing value to even pay them their salary, and you still got to pay them their salary. You still got to actually pay them money and let them come back to work and work for you? No. Companies should have the option of firing people if they protesting too much and out of context of what the agreement was signed. So yeah, I'm not against unions, but I'm just saying it's a bigger conversation, it's a bigger context to say, to have to discuss in that situation. So when he communicates like that, he's using your ignorance against you.
Dodge paying their fair share of taxes. Try to draw out your votes when they lose an election. Control what women can and can't do with their bodies.
We don't care what women do with their bodies. Really, we don't. Y'all putting us in a situation. We're just saying we don't want the government to tell every single citizen, 350 million citizens, what to do and what to allow their citizens to do that's alongside them. So we're saying, hey, obviously abortion is a commodity. It's some extra stuff that you get. It's some God complex that you get to purchase. You get what I'm saying? So that needs to be a discussion with the people back at home, and they can kind of bicker amongst their neighbors and stuff and see what kind of degenerate stuff that they want in their neighborhoods and all that happening around them and all the other stuff. So y'all have the discussion. We're not going to let it be the federal government lets 9 people on the Supreme Court bicker against it, and then 5 people make the decision to put a law and an actual way of life and an actual way of birth and controlling birth into the hands of every state, and we can't even debate it. We can't even have a conversation about it. We can't even have no values or morals that we even place upon the discussion. So that's what they did. They push it to the states. Y'all put it on the ballot, have a discussion, vote on it. Then whatever you guys agree to, or whatever the analysis is, or however much support y'all have to advocate for it, that's what it is. Most states are voting how the Roe v. Wade was. They are supporting abortion 6 weeks up to 21 weeks and stuff like that. Some states, you got about, I think there's 7 states lets you do it within the whole 9-month period. Literally. No bullshit. You go read those bills. Okay? I think it was New York, Minnesota, New Mexico, I think Colorado, and something else. I can't remember. And they let you do your thing. You get what I'm saying? But I ain't the discussion of that. We don't care. Who do women think you do a favor? Or do you think it's better for men or better for women when you get abortion? Who do you think that's better for?
In other words, for Trump, freedom is getting away with stuff.
Ain't nobody trying to get away with stuff. He's going by the tax code. Y'all don't like that he used the tax code? The IRS looked at every single dime Trump made, and they didn't. They audited him every single year, and they had no reason to try him on anything. New York couldn't get him on anything. All the stuff, the tax codes that he used were all legal and everything. Y'all did this all. Y'all had to put into law some crazy stuff. Then y'all use his lawyer, his private lawyer, against him. His private lawyer decided to take out a loan. We don't know. You can't even tell me that they didn't use that man to try to set Trump up. But all we know is his private lawyer decided to go into an agreement with a porn star. Trump is on social media and everything, say, I ain't never mess with that girl. She's a liar. She's a horse face. I ain't never mess with her. I never had no affair with her. His lawyer come to him, we got to pay her off. Don't pay her off. Don't pay her nothing. They go into, like, so that's what he told his lawyer, but his lawyer goes into a private meeting with this girl, give her $100,000, $30,000. Trump wouldn't give it to him. He decided to put it a loan on his house to get to pay the lady off. And act and say, hey, I'm gonna do this favor for Trump, and when he gets, if he becomes president, he'll do me a favor. He'll actually make me attorney general, some crazy administration spot that he felt like he was gonna get. So he ended up going into a deal with this lady, using his mortgage on his house to do it. Why? Because I don't care. Trump pays me $35,000 a month, so I work for him another year. I get paid for that. I can get my money back from the $130,000 loan that I gave to her. But he's gonna like me. He's gonna feel like he's gonna do a favor for me if I do that. That's what his lawyer thought. Okay, his lawyer gets into a tax evasion situation where he gets, like, he got a taxi company in New York, and he gets into I guess he didn't pay his taxes, so the FBI come on him and start to prosecute him on that, and used him to turn against Trump. So now he said, Trump told me to pay her, and he tried to pay me back with the retainer that he gave me. He's trying to pay me back with payments to reimbursement for paying her. But what did you do? You sent an invoice saying, hey, this is my invoice for this month for legal fees. This is my invoice for this month for legal fees. And then all that came to the actual Trump organization was Michael Cohen legal fees. His accountant printed out the checks for the amount of money for his legal fees. It has to get approved by Trump, so they took it to the White House. He's seen the checks. He knows that he got an agreement with Michael Cohen to pay him $35,000 a month. He signed 12 checks to give him $35,000 a month. Came out to $420,000. He paid Stormy Daniels, the stripper, $130,000. So what's all the other extra money for? They say, he tried to pay for his taxes too on his money. Well, that's a worst case scenario. That'd be about $260,000. What's the other money coming for? All we know, the facts are that he gave him a retainer for 12 months. For them to say that is some other reason, for the New York court, the jury, or the actual attorney general to say that is for another reason, that's speculation. We got to go with the facts. All we know is if Trump gave him if he gave him a certain amount of checks that equals up to 12 months of $35,000 a month salary, that's what we got to look at it. We can't look at it as him paying back Stormy Daniels. They don't got no document. They don't got no invoice saying that. And even if he did, it's a legal fee. So when they put in when his accountants put it in the ledger saying there's a legal fee, they prosecuted him 34 counts because his accountant put it in as a legal fee. And I guess they wanted him to put it as payment to a porn star, payment to NDA or something like that. NDA is a legal document handled by a lawyer. It's a legal fee. And they prosecuted him 34 counts for that, giving him a total of 134 years in jail for that. So that's what he's talking about. Trump trying to get away with it. He's the president. He didn't wait to Biden got inaugurated and then flew out. But you know what I'm saying? And took documents after he got inaugurated. He took the documents before Biden got inaugurated, so he took it under his administration and under his administration power, which only person that could have stopped Trump from taking the documents under his administration and giving him clemency to take those documents is Trump. And they prosecuted him for being a president because they want to delete his presidency. They don't want him to have the privilege that President Obama had when he took his documents to his library. They don't want him to have that privilege. Oh, he shouldn't have gave the FBI a problem. Who the fuck is the FBI? They work for the people. And you sure as hell work for the president administration. And even if Trump is not the administration, you got another administration coming to prosecute him. That's crazy. That would mean that Trump could have prosecuted Obama for killing an American citizen that he felt that was becoming part of Al-Qaeda inside of a cafe lounge with a bunch of innocent people and his son. And he sent the bomb, blew that whole place up with all those innocent people, and it was an American citizen he had the right to be tried and convicted. But Obama said, "Fuck that! No, we gonna get you because you're gonna be the new voice, and you too good with your communication like Bin Laden. We gotta stop that right now." And he took it upon himself to order that bomb. So Trump could have prosecuted Obama for that after the fact. That's why the Supreme Court said, "Nope, president could have immunity." And really, they should have immunity for anything they do in the presidency. I don't care what it is, y'all. That's the power we gave them. If they're if they're over the DOJ and over the FBI, over the CIA, over all the departments of the country, and they get to administrate it the way that they feel that is fair and balanced, then who is you guys to make a decision of what they decide to do? Because you will have every other president try to prosecute the previous president for whatever. They're using your ignorance against you.
It's like you said in the middle of the pandemic. I don't take any responsibility at all. People were dying. I don't take any responsibility at all.
That's out of context. Play the tape, because I don't know what you're talking about. I know what he said. I know everything about what you said. I'll argue. If I had to argue President Obama's stuff, I would. But I don't. He's making up stuff that ain't got nothing to do. It's not even factual. It really ain't.
Not sure any other president has ever uttered that statement. We have a broader idea of freedom. We believe in the freedom to provide for our families if we're willing to work. The freedom to breathe clean air and drink clean water and send our kids to school without worrying if they come home. We believe that true freedom gives each of us the right to make decisions about our own life, how we worship, who we marry, what our family looks like. And real freedom also means that we're going to disagree on how each of us should live our lives. And we have to respect other people's views on these issues. You know, I've always said there are good people of conscience on both sides of the abortion divide. I respect anyone whose faith tells them that it isn't something they support. But if we believe in freedom, then we should at least agree that such a deeply personal decision should be made by the woman whose body is involved and not by politicians. It has been fascinating to watch Donald Trump just tie himself into a pretzel on this issue. I mean,
they think that shit funny. They think that stuff funny when he did He sent it back to the states so you dummies can go vote and have your voice on what you want for abortion and stuff. And they laugh and say, okay, he did good. And he actually came up with a good way of explaining what he was sending it back to the people. But we got him. We got him. We keep talking about abortion. We keep telling them about, like, you by giving it back to the states, you give too many people the opinion of a woman's body, and we think it should be totalitarian to everybody, and they think that shit funny, that y'all so dumb, and y'all think that the federal government's supposed to make y'all decisions for y'all. And how the hell are we having this amount of beef because you women can't keep y'all legs closed? This is crazy. So who do you think benefits off of women wanting abortion? Men do. We get us off the hook. Please go. Have fun as much as you want. Go. The average man thinks that. Because average man knows one thing. The men that kind of find out that they've got a woman pregnant and they walk away and they don't do nothing for the kid, and the woman be a single woman and everything in the show, and the guy don't never come around to take care of the kid. That's a very, very minute few. It's very small on the margins of men that do that. Most men, they got to destroy themselves. They got to destroy their own ambition and their own personal journey and what they want to accomplish and what they want to do with their life. They stop and they step it up. They say, man, I cannot have my kid struggling and thinking that somebody not fighting for them. And they should be able to be a child and grow and prosper. So men, they get another job, they step up, they do whatever they got to do. Whoever they was going to decide they wanted to be in their life, that's out the game no more. Only thing that matters is I got to provide for this kid now. And I got to stay with this woman to try to build a family. Or somehow they decide, don't matter what, I got to take care of my kid. That's how most men in most situations going to wind up. But the culture of women is so retarded and so dumb and so backwards that they said, well, we want to be able to have abortions whenever we want. We want you to have abortions whenever you want. Shut up. We don't care. Have a good time. All this did was give you guys the voice back in your hometown, in your city, in your state. You got a bunch of black people going to the polls and going to the polls in Georgia, and they voting for like 6 weeks of abortion and stuff, and they vote for that policy. And you ratchet, dumb, ignorant women having babies and stuff like that, and you go past the 6-week mark, and you got blame it on your fellow black citizens. That's who voted for this. You all had a voice. You all could have bickered with each other. Women could have got out of the clubs and went to go vote. You didn't do it. You got outvoted by old dumb people. Okay? That's what's happening. Men don't care. We don't care. Have a good time. Let us off the hook. That's what our true voice is about it. Yes, we try to be more Christian and say, look, man, we can't have all these 44 million babies inside of America get killed, and 26 million of them is black Americans. This is crazy. We're destroying our own population, our own people by doing that. Of course, our better selves will be in that mindset, but our true selves, our unreflex self, go ahead, bitch. Have a good time. Enjoy. Please, as many abortions as you want. How many pills you want to pop? How many Plan Bs? I got a drawer full of them. That's the real situation there. So when they try to act like it's a fight against women having abortions, no, it ain't. No, it ain't. You got your Christian other women voting against you in the cities and states, and you need to go talk to them.
When he ran for president the first time, he said he would support punishing women who got an abortion. That's what he said. Thank you. Now, well, a couple of weeks ago, what did he say? He said, don't worry, women, I'll be your protector. I'll tell you how he protected you. He handpicked 3 of the Supreme Court justices who overturned Roe versus Wade. Went out there and bragged about it. And now there are Trump abortion bans in 20 states.
Trump abortion bans because a bunch of black women and some Christian people went to the polls with all the other Christians and sanctimonious knuckleheads out there, and they voted to limit the abortion. Okay, this is not no abortion. They just said, hey, figure it out before 15 weeks. Figure it out before 6 weeks. Figure it out before 21 weeks. That's 90% of all abortion violations or abortion conflict that you may have is just telling you, figure it out before 6 weeks, 15 weeks, or actual 21 weeks. Okay? Most other issues, they got it open. Have a good time. But he know you guys don't know this, so they get to trigger you guys on this stuff. Because you're dumb. You really are.
Many of them with no exception for rape or incest. And when he's asked about it, he says, well, everybody.
See, he should be respectful in some part of this. I understand you hate Trump. I understand he might make you lose and stuff. But don't accuse him of being for being against abortion and rape, incest, or the life of the mother. Don't accuse him of that. And when he's been since the 1980s, when they asked him this question, and all the videotapes, even up to now, even he do you understand 71% of the Christian vote is deciding that they might not vote this election because he's for abortion, for incest, the life of the mother, and rape, and he allowing any abortion that he's going to be favorable for it for anything any city or state decides in the judicial branch. I mean, not judicial branch. He's for any policies that any state puts into law in their states, no matter how radical it is. He's not going to go against it, because that's why he got rid of Roe v. Wade. Send it back to the states, let the people make a decision on it, and that's what it is. But if you want to tell me what my specific times where I think abortion is highly allowed, incest, the life of the mother, or rape. That's what he said. He got 71% of the Christians hating him for that. Hating him. Telling us they ain't going to go vote because that's his policies. This is crazy, y'all.
They wanted it this way. Really? He thinks women want to have to drive hundreds of miles to find a doctor who can help?
No. They want to have a voice of the abortion rights, and he gave them the voice. They just decided they didn't want the voice. They wanted 9 people to make the decision for hundreds of millions of women. That's what they decided in the last 2 years about. Dummies. It's just stupid. I'm telling you. Our mindset and us putting our mindset in the mindset of women has destroyed this country and this world. And I'm just saying, let's go down the rabbit hole. We don't care. Have fun. As many abortion pills you want, as many abortions you want. Have fun. Have a good time. Just don't act like you holier than thou. Don't act like you got the moral compass. Don't act like you got great values. You don't, and you already know it.
Does he think doctors want to choose between letting a woman die or going to jail for giving her the life-saving care that she needs?
That's medical malpractice, you idiot. And any Surgeon General pamphlet, document, book, or manual is that. I'm done.
That is not something people.
But they know how dumb you guys are. He really, man. How do y'all like? After this speech, y'all should be pissed at how much he's insulting people in one speech. Really hardcore. His supporters, he's insulting you, but you don't see it. Oh, you just remember, President Obama, you are the best. You are the greatest. You look so better than me. You are better than me. You are our dream president, President Obama, whatever you want us to do.
Show. Now, Donald Trump may be confused about that issue, but let's not be confused. Let's be clear about what's at stake here. If you send Bob Casey back to the Senate, He'll vote to restore reproductive freedom that women had for nearly 50 years. And if Congress passes that bill, Kamala Harris will sign it into law. Because they understand that freedom is about being able to make the right choice for ourselves and our families. It's about recognizing that other people have the freedom to make their own choices, even if they're different from ours. And it's an example of how, at the end of the day, this election isn't just about policies. It's about values.
I'm telling you.
It's about who we are.
Please go into the values.
And the example we want to set for our children and for their children.
This is this Oscar moment, y'all.
And it's about character.
He's about to cry.
Some of you know that when I was growing up,
no shame.
I didn't have a father in the house. But I did have plenty of people around me. Stepfather, grandparents, teachers, coaches, most of all my mom, who taught me the difference between right and wrong, who showed me what it meant to have integrity,
Woman.
to be honest,
A woman. That's why you got to
to be
vote for a woman.
responsible, and to work hard, and to treat other people like we wanted them to treat us. And
Single mom.
And I had a bunch of role models out there who helped raise me to become a man, and I made mistakes, and sometimes I didn't live up to those values that had been taught the way I should have, and I was checked and I was corrected, and I internalized those values, and I tried to live up to them. And I suspect most of you grew up the same way. And you know, that process of trying to live out your best self, trying to live out your values, that doesn't stop after the age of 20 or 21. It keeps going, and as I got older, I continued to benefit from friends like Bob Casey and Josh Shapiro and others who would reinforce those values, and who I didn't want to disappoint. And obviously my wife, and my daughters, you know, who I want to make sure, Malia and Sasha are watching. I want to make sure that I don't disappoint them, and that I'm passing on these values to them. You know, and here in Pittsburgh, I'm thinking about another example. Somebody who was a dear friend of mine and who's passed away now, Dan Room, who, you know, here was a guy who won 6 Super Bowls, 8 AFC championships, had enormous wealth and power. But I remember walking around, I guess it was Heinz Field by that time. I'm old enough to remember Three Rivers Stadium. Now I know it's something else. But Dan knew the name of every single person in the Steelers organization. You know, we'd pass by a custodian and he'd say, "Hey, Jimmy, how you doing? How's the family?" All the front office staff, he cared about them. He used his influence to get more black and brown head coaches hired in the NFL. He gave back to his community. He was known for his integrity. He helped support the peace process in Northern Ireland, became my ambassador to Ireland, and continued to help encourage people who were so far apart to come together. He had character. That's what I think about so much these days, because it's so different from what we see out of the Republican nominee. And it's been one of the most...
It's so different than what we see out of you. Like, even if a guy is like, and this is the problem with our society. It's so much, and I'm pretty sure that was a great man. He had great philosophy. Go through all that, accomplish all that, and to be able to kind of communicate and remember all that. It was his goal to actually be a little bit better in the human dynamics of society. Obama is to be a president, to be a politician, to be a powerful person. That's his hunger. That's his goals. That's his ambition. And now he's trying to find a way to be a little bit more dealing with people and kind of been like where he's not always trying to manipulate them, that he's trying to have hope for the best for them and stuff. But it's too late, man. Y'all, because on one side of you, in the one side of you, you're for, hey, we were trying to be peaceful and everything like that. And then the other side is, hey, I think anything should go in life. I think everybody should do whatever they want to do and have any belief that they want and conduct themselves in any way they want. And we'll just kind of figure out, make sure that it doesn't hurt anybody, but anything goes. And morals and values are gone, y'all. It's no morals and values. It's the only way you can be inclusive. Do you understand that? We're not allowing Arabic people, Hispanic people, Asians, whatever, to assimilate into the American culture. We're not even kind of advocating that. We're actually adopting their way of life. The way that they look at things, the way that they see stuff. And some people, I would say Asians, they got a pretty good way I think it should adopt. Most people should adopt. But that's even bias in a thought process that I have. But most people should adjust to the American way, the American being. And we don't even advocate that. We think that that's disgraceful. We think that's terrible. We think those values are horrible. So we are trying our way to delete it. We're taking down statues because we don't want to look at the progress and the roads to progress. We don't even want to deal with that. So we're taking down statues. We're taking down structural meanings to say that when at this point, this was going on. This is who was king shit. This is who dominated at this time and has this certain kind of value and had this opposition to where we are today. But this is the factor of one of our enemies or one of the bad people in our society or the generals of our society or of a time zone to say. It's just certain ways. It's like literally like having a statue of something to represent like a villain in a movie or something like that. That's what our statues are for, is just to mark the times and the progress and the different obstacles that our country to where it's at had to be. But we deleting all this. Why? Because we don't have any values. We have a perception of how we want life to be, and we're gonna bully you to how we think that should be collective. We don't care what the logical journey was and how it should be advocated and how you should be able to communicate for the yin and the yang and how you got to where you're at now. We want to construct that conversation, and we got a couple bills, couple statutes, couple amendments that we got to destroy, couple constitutional rights we have to restructure, and then we'll tell you what the story is forever. So trust me, people don't care about no values. They don't. In order to be inclusive, in order to be for the LGBTQIA, to be for abortion, to be for a lot of crazy stuff, you get what I'm saying? A lot of things that's illogical in human dynamics and human behaviors and relationship behaviors, in order to even be supportive or inclusive to these ways of life, you have to destroy your values and your morals, because it's all contradicted, and you're being a hypocrite in the midst of the construction of values and morals. So our society doesn't allow for that anymore. So that's why I'm telling you, this shit is all manipulation.
Disturbing aspects of this election season about Trump's rise in politics is how we seem to have set aside the values that people like Dan stood for and Bob stood for and that I was taught. And those...
How can we keep those? How can we keep any? Y'all don't have no values. You guys come from the baby boomers, and you're part of the baby boomers, and you're hippies. You guys are radicals anyway. So you guys, the baby boomers, don't have any values. You get what I'm saying? So it's just ridiculous for us to even have that conversation. But how do you want us to have the values of yesterday when our life and our future is today? It is we have transgenders, we have the LGBTQIA community, we have a lot of crazy stuff that's just not normal and it's not logical and it's just not the construction of the biological system and everything like that. It's just so weird and different, and it's just, but you got to be inclusive. You have to be able to interact with people and interact with these people and not pass judgment, where you can't be constructive and you can't be productive with people. So you have to somewhat allow a lot of different fashions of life and life decisions and life, like how people live their life and everything. You got to be inclusive to this. So how can you be like that and have values? You can't have values. You can't have immorality. You have to somewhat say, hey, right now I'm in my house, I'm going to have some values inside my house, but when I go to this bar, when I go to this restaurant, when I go to this situation and I'm interacting with this situation, I can't keep those values. Some of that stuff I got to shed to the wayside. Just I can't keep them. I got to reconstruct them. They got to be like a Rubik's Cube where I'm changing the colors and everything. It's come on, y'all. Stop it. You don't care about no values. You don't care about morality. This is ridiculous.
Didn't used to be Republican Democratic values. I mean, it used to be we'd have arguments about tax policy or foreign policy, but we didn't have arguments about whether you should tell the truth or not.
Boy, he's lying. For 45 minutes, he's been lying, because we're pretty much on the last 5 minutes. For 45 minutes, he's been lying like crazy, and I walked you guys through it, lying like crazy, and he's talking about telling the truth. You guys don't know who's telling the truth, and they using that against you. They're using your intelligence. I'm sorry, they're using your ignorance against you. Okay, for the last 45 minutes he's been lying, but he know how dumb you are, so he's using your ignorance against you. But that's the trick. That's the propaganda. That's what I'm telling you guys. Values and morality's out the window. For him to sit there and do these fake tears and this anguished conversation of, oh, I just want people to get along. I want people to love each other and be nice. And he say it so passionately. When you look at him, you feel like he's telling the truth. When Kamala do that stuff, he's thinking they tell the truth, and they liars.
We didn't make excuses for people who just violated basic norms of treating people fairly and with respect. I mean, just last week, I talked about this. We had one of the deadliest hurricanes in American history. The beautiful town of Asheville, North Carolina, one of my favorite places in the country. Spent time there, amazing people. Devastated. Hundreds of people killed.
And this is smart. Look, I'm telling you, man, y'all can't mess with President Obama, man. He is commander in propaganda, commander in misdirection. Boy, oh, I love the people of Asheville. I'm not a president. I ain't got nothing to do with the situation that happened with how Joe Biden and how Kamala attended to that situation. My hands is off of it, so it gives me a lot of space and a lot of levity to come in here and be like, I love those people. What happened to them is tragedy, and they politicized it and blah blah blah. I don't know what he's gonna say, but I know he's trying to take how much those people favor Trump right now and how Trump is advocating for them with Elon Musk and communication and all the advocacy that Trump been doing for the Asheville and everything. He's trying to take that narrative away from Trump by him saying, I love these people. Boy, whew. Man, it's shady. It's shady. But that's why he's out. That's why he's giving this speech.
And President Biden and Vice President Harris were down there meeting with local officials and comforting families, asking how they could help. And Donald Trump at a rally just started making up stories about the Biden administration withholding aid from Republican areas and siphoning off aid to give to undocumented immigrants. Just made the stuff.
That's all true. That's all true. And don't take Trump's point of view of that. Go talk to the people there. They're going to tell you about Apache helicopters, but the FEMA wouldn't allow people to drop off equipment and all that other stuff. Whatever they had planned, they didn't communicate it right. And that's how the people felt there. And certain Republican areas felt there. That's how they felt because of certain tactical things that they did in that situation. Go talk to the people. All Trump is doing is getting this information from the people, and that's how the people felt. And he's saying he shouldn't have politicized it. Nope. He don't give you all cool points.
Up. Everybody knew it wasn't true. Even local Republicans said it was not true. And now the people of Florida are dealing with another devastating storm. And I want you to watch what happens over the next few days, just like the last time. You're going to have leaders who try to help, and then you have a guy who will just lie about it to score political points, and this has consequences.
Well, if he's lying about it and to score political points, then you'll have the people know that he's lying about it. But if he's communicating what they're communicating, and then we're watching Twitter, man, if you go on X, formerly known as Twitter, you're seeing tons of video. Yeah, you got some people that are so liberal and they just can't help it. They know how to cheat the system and all kind of stuff but you got to listen to the people. They're communicating this stuff. It's too much information. Just go to X, formerly known as Twitter, put Hurricane Helene and or Asheville or North Carolina and listen to what they got to say. Don't listen to with politicians, with President Obama, or with Trump, or any political official, because they gotta balance out the narrative that they want. But when you listen to a person called TikTok, because they ain't got no energy, they got no water, they got no internet speed, but they able to connect on to a satellite or something, and they start communicating that stuff, and they right there, you gotta listen to that. Can't listen to at the Monday quarterback and stuff. Because they cleaning this up now. They trying to be cordial with it. But nah, you got to listen to what the people are saying that's in the shit. And they ain't saying this.
Because people are afraid and they've lost everything. And now they're trying to figure out, how do I apply for help? And some of them may be discouraged from getting the help they need. The idea of intentionally trying to deceive people in their most desperate and vulnerable moments. And my question is, when did that become okay? I'm not looking for applause right now. I want to ask Republicans out there, people who are conservative, who didn't vote for me, who didn't agree with me. I had friends who disagreed with me on every issue. When did that become okay? Why would we go along with that?
Boy, you a piece of shit, man.
I mean, if your coworkers...
You're a liar and you're a piece of shit, man. I'm so sorry. I love President Obama, but boy, when you come out and you advocate for people and then you use these tactics to advocate for Kamala, I understand you on her side, you're supportive of her, but dude, you are not being logically fair. You are allowing your hatred and your perception of his power and his meaning and what you're willing to do to him and his value, you making this piece of shit, terrible, like emotional manipulation thing. It is, and boy, it's disgusting. This is disgusting because it's all a lie, y'all. It's all. I love President Obama. I voted for him both times and I don't regret it. And I love watching him still, knowing that he's in existence and he's having a great life. But boy, he's been a piece of shit right now. He really been a piece of shit right now. This is propaganda. This is psychological manipulation. Boy, whew.
Acted like that, they wouldn't be your co-workers very long. If you're in business and somebody you're doing business with just outright lies and manipulates, you stop doing business with them. Even if you had a family member who acted like that, you might still love them, but you tell them.
And that's what I think y'all should do to President Obama. You may like him, you may love him, he played his purpose, but you gotta call him out. And that's what I've been doing. I don't care about being favorable to him no more. I got my 8 years. He's in the president. He's in the history books. He's gonna die a half a billionaire. He can't say he's gonna be good. So he's safe and he's cuddled and he's provided for forever for our support that we gave to him. But that don't mean that we don't call him out. We don't see the disgusting stuff that he communicates and take our time and point it out. That's an individual. And this guy is crazy.
You got a problem. And you wouldn't put him in charge of anything. And yet when Donald Trump lies or cheats or shows utter disregard for our
gaslighting. They accuse you of what they're doing. They accuse you of what they're doing. Gaslighting.
Constitution, when he calls POWs losers or fellow citizens vermin. People make excuses for it. They think it's okay.
All out of context. None of the stuff that he said. And his haters make up crazy stuff. And how can he fight it? Because there's no evidence on it. It's just their word against their, or a group of people deciding to say, hey man, I can't just release this to the press because they're gonna think that it's just my word against his. I need you to come along with me. We gotta do this for the freedom of America. We gotta save America. So we need enough propaganda out there, negative stuff that we say about him. That's how magnanimous Trump is. That's how his enemies team up against him. And yes, it's for the first time in society, you're going to have to know that's what they're doing. And that means that you got to have a high IQ to even understand that's what's popping off. And most of you don't. If you're lucky, you're at 90. I mean, really, really pushing it 100, 110. But that's about it. You're pretty dumb.
They think, well, at least he's owning the libs. He's really sticking it to them. It's okay as long as our side wins. And by the way, I'm sorry, gentlemen. I've noticed this especially with some men who seem to think Trump's behavior, the bullying and the putting people down, is a sign of strength.
Ain't nobody talking about. I watched every single thing President Obama did through his whole presidency. I watched every single speech he gave, every single news conference that he gave. I watched him as he come up to the parliament. I would live next to my phone watching it. Even when I was at work, I really gave respect. I read both of his books. I gave respect. I did not want another human being telling me what's the history of President Obama and who President Obama was. I don't want them telling me about legislation, anything that he did, and I don't know if it's true or not. So I watched everything. I followed every single thing. And I've done that for President Trump too. And then I went back to watch everything, read his books, and really made sure I know what the congruent situation is. That I can't have nobody tell me about him, and I don't know how to, like, what's the context of it, or if it's just what it is, and it's just true. Okay? Okay? So ain't nobody here to advocate for Trump being rude, or what he say. Let me go back and see what this is, because I'm making a point.
Is a sign of strength. And I am here to tell you, he's owning the libs. He's
watching TikTok videos or some videos on YouTube or something like that, and he doesn't like how men communicate and stuff. He probably paid attention to Anti-Daniels because Anti-Daniels very well polished and everything, and that may make him triggered about him. And he probably watched the segment with Anti-Daniels on Fox News and seen like, man, this is a well established and well presentable black man, and look how he communicating about Trump's owning the libs and all that stuff. So he may got this rhetoric from Anti-Daniels or something at antidaniels.com. But look, Trump, I watched Trump.
He's really sticking it to him. It's okay as long as our side wins.
Republicans been losing because they're cowards, because they won't take y'all on. They won't really destroy your narrative in the most aggressive way possible. They won't do it. So y'all been sticking it to Republicans. Y'all been winning the narrative against the dumb conservative and the Christians and the fake ass evangelicals and stuff like that for the longest. What are y'all talking about? You're talking about some specific podcaster or social media influencer or somebody on the radio wave saying this that tweaking you. Probably sounds like Anti-Daniels, but I'm not saying it is. But that's what's going on there. It's got nothing to do with Trump.
And by the way, I'm sorry, gentlemen. I've noticed this especially with some men.
This that baiting the black man right now. This the baiting the black man segment right now. And I'm glad they saved it for the last 2 minutes.
Who seem to think Trump's behavior, the bullying and the putting people down.
Trump ain't bully and put nobody down. He waits until they attack him. He looks at the situation of how they attacked him, and he gives them that fire back. Now, because he got a way to brand it, when he waits for you to attack him, and Marco Rubio decides like, we gotta get some negativity on Trump, so I'm gonna come out and dog him out like how he dogged Jeb Bush out, and I'm gonna bring that steam to him. And he found out that he lost that one because he called him Little Marco and tagged him. Jeb Bush got tagged. Lion Ted got tagged. Crooked Hillary got tagged. You know what I'm saying? And Comrade Kamala got tagged, and when he do that, they think it's just the worst thing that they ever heard. But they're on the other side calling him a rapist, calling him a convicted felon, and doing all kind of nasty, shady stuff that they put in place to give him that tagline, to label him like that. And they think that just some decorum should be placed, some statesmanship stuff. No matter what they call you, Trump, no matter what they do, no matter if they come into Mar-a-Lago and they raid your house and look in your wife's underwear drawer, and they do no matter if they convict you, no matter if they find you guilty for something that you didn't do that's not lawfully that they can even prosecute you on, no matter if they try to find you $456 million for problems that they say that the banks have, and the bank said we ain't got those kind of problems. We ain't bring this suit against them. We got nothing to do with this. No matter how crooked our government and people do that's in power, be statesmen. Don't fight back. Just take it. It's crazy.
Is a sign of strength.
It is. Just let y'all know, we are not the Republican Party Trump ain't the Republican candidate that's just going to let y'all have the narrative and let y'all say whatever y'all want, and he just don't even fight back. No, we fighting tooth and nail. We fighting back. Just like what like Kamala say on her commercial, when we fight, we win. We fighting back. We fighting and we gonna win. And they gotta have that attitude. But yes, it's only Trump. So that's why Trump is a chance that he'll lose. Because you got too many Republicans that's idly standing by saying, I don't know about doing that. I don't know about saying that. I don't know about fighting back like that. I don't know about taking on every single narrative. No, you take on every single narrative. Why? Because they not doing it for nothing. They not spending hundreds of millions of dollars on Project 25, abortion for nothing. They know their narrative, their propaganda speech, the repetition speech that they're doing on these issues that's not factually true in anything. They know it's working. Why? Because it's narrative. You must fight every narrative tooth and nail.
And I am here to tell you that is not what real strength is. It never has.
And we're not gonna tell a person. We're not gonna get the conversation of real strength by a person that was handed strength from the great decision that his grandfather made to put him in the circles that would give him the power that he has today. If your father didn't put you in those Ivy League schools and put you around the most powerful people and their kids, you wouldn't know how to navigate yourself in college, in high school, and as a freshman senator, in donors world. You had to take some of those things that your grandfather taught you, and with your white grandfather put you into the most Ivy League schools in Hawaii and everything. If he didn't do that, wouldn't be the way you are. But he knew he had to do, in order for you to not to be the typical black person, he had to put that white power in your hands. And he had to find a way to do it and get it into you, and you don't even have to be white. That's what President Obama's grandfather did for him. So don't let nobody tell you nothing different. Read his books and get the book that was printed 10 years ago. I don't know about new prints. Read the book. Read his books, okay? It's ridiculous. It's all propaganda, and I got to try to give you guys the context of why he's speaking like this, because I'll say it again, he's using your ignorance, and you're pretty ignorant, against you.
Real strength is about working hard. And
that's true. That's true. It is. It is about working hard, persevering over all kind of obstacles and terrible situations that may come up, and crazy roads, journeys, and roadblocks that may come up that is very terrible financially and everything. And you got to persevere, do it. And that's what it is. You got to fight through it. And that's what we're doing here. That's what individual perspective is. That's why I'm here even doing this podcast. And I got things I got to absolutely take care of and fight for. But I got to make sure that this situation is put into perspective. I'm going to make sure this situation is put into this perspective, because this probably be the best speech that President Obama going to give for the next 2 to 3 weeks. So no matter what, as long as I break this down, I break down every single thing he opened his mouth about this year and onward.
Is a sign of strength. And I am here to tell you.
I'm going to rewind that because, I'm letting...
It's okay as long as our side wins. And by the way, I'm sorry, gentlemen. I've noticed this especially with some men who seem to think Trump's behavior, the bullying and the putting people down, is a sign of strength.
Fighting back is a sign of strength.
And I am here to tell you that is not what real strength is. It never has been.
And especially if the fighting back is all communication and narrative. Ain't nobody having no physical fights. Ain't nobody bringing the real drama to nobody, life-ending drama to anybody. This is all conversation, and then you got the Republican Party being like pussyfooting around on that and being weak on that. You can communicate. But they're even saying, oh, you got to keep statesmen, don't even respond. No. Fight every narrative, especially if it's false. Never let somebody paint your narrative. Never.
Real strength is about working hard and carrying a heavy load without complaining. Real strength is about taking responsibility for your actions and telling the truth even when it's inconvenient. Real strength is about helping people who need it and standing up for those who can't always stand up for themselves. That is what we should want for our daughters and for our sons, and that is what I want to see in a president of the United States of America.
Boy, I love that. I love that. That's so awesome. It is so great. That is so powerful. That's so powerful that you can sit there and say that. And your comfort and your power and your financial stability that other Americans gave to you. Don't do what you're doing, President Obama, making it seem like you're a whole man when the country and other people's well-being made you a man. Meaning people had to give up their taxes. People had to give up their rights. People had to give up what's best for their situations. Communities had to, in order to elevate you. And then that same mindset that will make people stupid enough to give up their own well-being for their leaders. Every time we bought a CD, every time we bought a movie, every time we watch a TV show or watch a podcast, we're elevating somebody else besides ourselves. So we're taking growth from ourselves to elevate another person. And then you come out and you talk to men about you ain't no real man. You ain't got that money. You ain't got that. You can't provide. You can't do that. Like, dude, they can't because they got all the roadblocks from your ideology in their way. Now, not only do they got to fight the system, they got to fight the system of what's going on outside their house. They got to fight what's inside their house when they have women that they dated with, and they merged with, that have total oppositions to what they're doing. So you got two separate agendas going on in the average man's household. That stops the progress from getting to the finish line even slower. Do you understand that? And this ideology is what you guys have put into the lexicon. You have put this into the way that we even conduct ourselves with each other, that two people should be in the house and they should just live their life, live their best life, do what they want to do. No, you should come together and you guys you need to find out who's got the better agenda between the both of you and do full steam ahead behind that agenda. That's how men and women should conduct themselves. That's the way that men and women can ever be in this position to provide and take care of people and help people out when they're in need and all the other stuff. He's talking about this because he's good. He's good. Every elevation in his life was given by people that was extremely powerful and that had his well-being in mind. Most people are not growing up in that scenario. They got their well-being in mind, and if they don't got their well-being in mind, they find out that they didn't have their well-being in mind, and they need to transition psychologically to put their well-being in mind, and that takes them a little bit less. That took them a little bit more time than it would have normally took them to get to where they need to be. But once they get to where they need to be, they'll know that it was because they put their well-being in mind. It's ridiculous. And when he punks his chest like that, he King Kong himself like that, that's all elite, powerful men ideology that is not given to the average man. This is what I'm telling you. This is the problem with podcasters, social media influencers, our politicians. They beat their chests and think of how great their situation is and how their mindset is and how great their thought process is and why you not like this? Why you not a millionaire? Why you not got a six-figure? Why you not a six-figure nigga? What's wrong with you? They do that, beat their chest, but dude, this country is filled with people that's making $20,000 a year, $30,000 a year, $40,000 a year, $50,000 a year, doing construction, doing garbage pickup, stocking shelves. You guys make it seem like, well, if it's a man that's stocking a shelf, if it's a man that's doing a garbage pickup, if it's a man that's doing construction and he's over the age of 26, he's a failure as a man because he's supposed to have went to go do something else. He's supposed to have spread himself entrepreneur-wise to do this. What would this country be if every single person that did a job and they not a six-figure person or they not an entrepreneur if they not that over the age of 26 or in their 30s or their 40s or their 50s, if they are 56 or 60-something-year-old people that was a garbage person and they retired for the garbage department or they retired from working on the road, that they failed, if a plumber or something like that, they failed as a man because they didn't reach up to the six-figure in the. That's crazy, dude. This whole country is filled with people that ain't gonna be a President Obama. That's not gonna be a social influencer making millions of dollars, $10,000s of dollars, hundreds of thousands of dollars a month, social influencer, a podcaster, all that crazy stuff. And you guys, your communication is, you need to be this. Boo, 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 boo. You know what's what's the drama that's in the way of a man to accomplish his goals? Do you understand that? Some men were dumb enough to give up their life and their individuality when they had kids, so they worked a job and they did the best they could. And you saying that every single man should be a six-figure person in this economy and the way that y'all playing game, and that they got to fight women for these corporate administration jobs too? Come on, y'all. You're totally out of context. You're totally out of context when y'all beating your chest like that. But look, they use your ignorance against you. So go right ahead. Last minute. And those the ratchet black women clapping their hands, or the dumb women that don't know no better clapping their hands. Y'all wonder why men just walk away. Walk away. A man if a man gotta be on his own, he'll be on his own. He'll level up. And everything is going to be fine. You'll walk away. So all this crazy stuff, anti-man, anti-black man, all that stuff like that, go ahead. Go ahead. Y'all think y'all gonna do another 40 years like this?
And the good news is that you have candidates to vote for in this election that demonstrate that kind of character, who know what real strength looks like, who will set a good example and do the right thing and lead this country better than they found it. So, Pennsylvania, that is the choice in this election. It's not just about policies that are on the ballot. It is about values, and it is about character. So whether this election is making you feel excited or scared or hopeful or frustrated or anything in between, do not just sit back and hope.
Yeah, they want you to be fearful. They want you to be scared. They want you to think that Trump is a danger to society and all that stuff. They love that. Their mission was accomplished.
For the best, get off your couch and vote. Put down your phone and vote.
Yeah, vote. Vote. And look, if you guys want another 4 years of what we got, and even in high octane, go right ahead. Go right ahead. I don't give a shit. I don't care. I'm still pissed from 2020. Tell you the honest God truth. So look, of course, I think you should vote for Trump. Like I said, you vote for Trump, you're voting for your individual freedom, you're voting for the prosperity of your family and yourself. You vote for Kamala, you're voting for the first woman president. That's all that matters. That's all it means. Her policy and all the stuff he's talking about is all fake and lies. They have no factual proof to it. Okay? So it ain't what you voting for because you don't got no history of that. You don't got no history of that. You got history of great economic money decisions made from Trump, but you don't got no good money decisions made from them. You already know this. So stop faking like you care about your economics. You don't. You care about the first woman president. That's what you're voting for if you vote for Kamala. You vote for Trump because you actually care about your money. You actually care about your prosperity and what you leave behind, or at least the comfort and the actual prosperity you feel that you deserve right now in your life, and you want the government to stay out of the way. That's what you're voting for. So, yeah, let them hype y'all up.
Grab your friends and family and vote.
Yeah, you should. Smack them if they voting for any way different. At the same time, we can't. I think 99% of my family members are voting for Kamala, and I don't know what that says. I don't even, because if I would be objective, it ain't good. It means it's not good. And I even me, I'm cowering out. I don't even want to say it on this podcast how I truly feel about that. So
vote for Kamala Harris as the next president of the United States. Vote for Tim Walz as the next vice president of the United States. Vote for Bob Casey and this whole incredible Pennsylvania Democratic ticket. Help your friends and family members and neighbors and co-workers do the same. Because if enough of us make our voices heard, we will leave no doubt about the election outcome. We'll leave no doubt about who we are and what America stands for. And together we'll keep building a country that's more fair and more equal and more just and more free. That is our task. That is our responsibility. Let's go do it. Thank you, Pittsburgh. Thank you, Pennsylvania. Let's go vote.
Okay. So one thing I want to say to you guys is, that's the end of that. I paused it on him, one thing I want to say to y'all, he ain't in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania for nothing. Okay. That means internal polls don't look good or it's risky as hell. He not there for nothing. Pay attention to this, y'all. So Trump is doing pretty damn good. Pay attention, because now I say about 2 more weeks, if they anywhere in 2 more weeks, they seeing something we ain't seeing. And I'm saying, hey, we not even supposed to need the Democrats' internal polling. Charlie Kirk is supposed to have soldiers out there in Michigan, in Wisconsin, in Pennsylvania, in Nevada and Arizona and Georgia. He got paid hundreds of millions of dollars. At least he's been extremely efficiently liquid for the last 4 to 8 years to make sure he can actually know what's out there, what's going on. And we can't go to Charlie Kirk and ask him, what's the numbers, Charlie? Tell us how good we doing in Pennsylvania. And no matter what they do, they're in a bad shape. He's giving us the stuff that CBS giving us, CNN giving us, Fox News giving us, Quinnipiac Poll giving us, New York Times giving us, Wall Street Journal giving us. It's like, what are you doing with all that money? Oh, I'm in Arizona. I think we're going to win Arizona. You live in Arizona. TPUSA is in Arizona. You don't get no cool points. That better be one. You sitting there in Arizona. If we lose Arizona, dude, it was a waste. But now what is he saying? And I'm only asking this because I love Charlie Kirk. But Charlie, are you telling us that you're getting the next generation ready? You're getting the 2008 voters ready? You're getting the 2032 election voters ready? Is that what you're telling us? Y'all better wake up, Republicans. And I'm not Republicans. Anybody that's supporting Trump and that's going to vote for Trump. You got 71% of the Christians deciding that they're not going to vote, or at the least in the conversations, giving that kind of data out to some major people that's actually saying that that's the come up. and Trump's still been extremely competitive, meaning that he's more valued by Black Americans than you guys ever thought he would ever be. He's more valued by Hispanic voters than you guys thought he would ever be. He's more valued by young voters than you guys thought he would ever be. He's more valued by suburban college graduates than you guys thought he would ever be. So all the excuses of what Trump should do, he should be more statesman, he should be more presidential, he should have better decorum, all that narrative crap is garbage because his numbers is good for the support of Trump and his policies and his ideology and his rhetoric. So all you Republicans, all you Christians, all you evangelicals, you guys think that you too good. And this guy has shown that every single type of person in this country supports his mindset, supports his communication. They came on. They on for the Trump chain. And y'all trying to have rhetoric to say that they didn't. But the data tells you, even from his enemies, that every single demographic in this country gives support to Donald J. Trump. Maybe not the ratchet, dumb Black ladies. I'm not all Black ladies. Look, I love my mother. I love my sisters. I love my family, female family members and all that stuff like that. I'm not saying all Black women. You're an anomaly who I'm not talking about. I'm talking about the majority of you idiots. It's ridiculous. So yeah, I'm baiting the women. President Obama baits it disrespect Black men with his rhetoric, calling us losers and we ain't no man because we talking junk, or we having an ideological point of view that we ain't gonna be no slave mind voting for a Democrat, and they say you ain't voting for no woman. Well, you ain't no man. It don't take you be a real man. You vote for Kamala. He's baiting us like that, and I use this whole thing to troll him, okay, or to give a great narrative on him. And I'm baiting the women. I'm baiting the Black women. Okay, get out of your ratchetness. Get out of your angry woman syndrome. Get behind your man. Get behind men, cause you don't want to be Yeah, I'm sure you want to retire. I'm sure you want to not beat the pavement. I'm sure you don't want those bags spin under your eyes. I'm sure you don't want to be so masculine like you are. I'm sure you want to be looked at as a woman and to be respected as a woman. I'm sure you want those doors open again for you. I'm sure you want men to pay for your dates. Best way you could do that is know your role. Be a demurred woman. But if you want to be a strong Black boss babe, if you want to do that, then let's go down this rabbit hole. Because we already know what the end is. We already had it for 40 years. So if you want more, 40, 50 years, if you want more of it, let's do what we do. Otherwise, make a good decision this November 5th. And vote for Donald J. Trump. Okay? I'm going to play a quick video for you guys. Because I played Kamala's little ad. But sometimes you guys got to know the true point of view from candidates without all other people trying to give you their narrative. Let them give you their narrative.
Trump has left the building.
We can now project the winner of the presidential race. Donald Trump wins the presidency. What started off as unlikely, impossible, is now reality.
I will fight for you with every breath in my body, and I will never, ever let you down.
We have a president who actually fulfilled the promises he made during the campaign. From securing the border to foreign policy.
He now has a record as president that's pretty damn impressive.
Breaking news out of Palm Beach,
The FBI has executed an unprecedented search warrant at President Donald Trump's Mar-a-Lago estate. The former president has both sides of the political aisle up in arms.
This is a dangerous and unstable moment in American history.
The Justice Department has just indicted former President Donald Trump.
For 7 years, they hated him, they targeted him, they hunted him.
This is the epitome of the abuse of the prosecutorial power to preempt political decisions.
I never thought anything like this could happen in America. The only crime that I have committed is to fearlessly defend our nation from those who seek to destroy it. The more that a broken system tells you that you're wrong, the more certain you should be that you must keep pushing ahead. They want to take away my freedom because I will never let them take away your freedom. They want to silence me because I will never let them silence you. They're not coming after me, they're coming after you, and I just happen to be standing in their way, and I will never be moving. On November 5th, 2024, justice will be done. We will take back our country, and we will make America great again. America will always rise to every challenge and overcome every danger.
Donald Trump seems to always get stronger when challenged. These types of things, I think, give him strength.
When I'm reelected, I will totally obliterate the deep state.
As long as we have pride in our beliefs, courage in our convictions, and faith in our God, then we will not fail.
Okay. I gotta get my graphics back on. What happened? How you doing, guys? Okay, where is it at? Okay. Trying to see where my graph or my thumbnail is. Okay. So I don't even remember how I had this. There we go. See? You get what I'm saying? Now that, if you want to rewind that ad, you'll see that's pretty much Trump. Okay? All this other stuff is just noise. Everything in that video tells you how he thinks, what his policies are, and all that stuff like that. So, yeah, they got a narrative out here where they did good, and that's what you guys believe. So, look, I took the bait, okay? I took the bait from President Obama, okay? So, this is it, y'all. I'm done. Please hit the like, hit the follow button. Please hit that Cash App and that PayPal up. We're trying to do a panel where we do 18 hours of coverage for the election. We're going to start at 7 in the morning. We're going straight through to like 2 in the morning or so. Okay, so we need help with that. And I just need you guys to hit that Cash App and that PayPal up, and we're gonna have a panel. We're gonna really do this, and it's gonna be aggressive. I'm gonna have opposition, so don't worry about it. It's not gonna be a bunch of people with the same mindset. We're gonna articulate ourselves through all the data and everything like that. Talk about some clips, talk about some narrative. If anybody got questions on Charlottesville or anything like that the day of, I'm gonna make sure that the clips are ready to go so we can kind of straighten everybody out. And objectivity here at Individual Perspective is when your truth is the objective truth. When you're not a liar and what you're saying that's coming out your mouth is just what it is, and it's been vetted and it's just objective. Okay? Objectivity is a hard thing. It's very hard, and I do a disservice to myself in some ways by being so objective, but it's a curse. Okay? So thank you guys for joining us for the second part. That's it. And I took the President Obama's bait for black men. Okay? So I'll see you guys on the next episode.